and former students at AU were there to boogie it up for as long as possible. That event raised $356,000 for the future creation of the Bill and Olivia Amos Children's Hospital. The money will go to Piedmont Columbus Regional Hospital to create this healthcare facility within the Chattahoochee Valley. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote Conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
I'm also very much of a germaphobe, by the way.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, or Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
I got hairy legs. I got worms.
How dare you?
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by God. You know the thing.
Stop playing with it.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy. Hey, listen.
I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can.
I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. It broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. Eddie's here as my trusty sidekick. How you doing, man?
All righty.
Don't be watching that view clip up on the screen. It's going to rot your brain out, those harpies.
That lady caught my attention.
Hey, without further ado, as is tradition on Tuesdays, we have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano on the stream. Judge, how are you today, sir? I'm sorry, I had you muted. It sounds like you're doing well, though. I've got you now.
Okay. Yes, I am doing well. What was Eddie watching on the screen that you admonished him for?
It was a clip of The View, right, Eddie?
Yes, it was a couple young ladies, and one of them had some attractive hair. It caught my attention. I'll be honest. It caught my attention.
See what I deal with here. So there's a lot to talk about today. I almost want to start with what would probably be the lightest topic, which are these recent rulings against Trump, in particular this real estate case, essentially. I'll admit, my sense is this is absurd, but what's your take on this recent ruling and then what the next steps are, how this could affect Trump?
Well, this is my column for this week, which you will get in the next few hours as soon as I get it back from my editor. Donald Trump and his family and his family corporation were fined $400 million for some crime that wasn't committed and harm that wasn't caused. The allegation is that they engaged in fraud. Fraud is a material misrepresentation made in order to induce someone to rely on it and where someone relies on it to their detriment. Now, nobody relied on this to their detriment. The allegation is that he didn't give true and accurate and scrupulously correct evaluations of his buildings, which he pledged as security for loans. Well, the bank sent their own appraisers to evaluate the buildings, and the bank were satisfied with what their appraisers produced and with what Trump produced. And the bank's officers testified at trial. Not only did Trump not cheat them, not only was everything paid back on time, but they would gladly lend to Trump again if the situation arose. So you have an interloper here, the government, who somehow claims that even though the banks weren't harmed, the government was harmed, and it cannot tell you what the harm was. Well, there are basic principles of American jurisprudence. Where there's a wrong, there's a remedy. Where there's no wrong, there's no need for a remedy. Where there's the violation of a duty, the breach of a duty, and it causes harm, you can sue. But where there's no breach of any duty and nobody was harmed, there's no basis for a lawsuit. This is a crazy New York state law which allows no jury and allows a judge to seize assets even though there was no harm. I'm sure this will be reversed either by the appellate courts in New York or by the Supreme Court of the United States. It does more harm to the rule of law in this country than anything Trump could have done to those banks.
Is the dollar amount meant to really hamper him? I mean, he's got to put up essentially $500 million, right?
Okay, so the dollar amount is based on what the government's experts opined Trump would have earned had he not gotten favorable rates, which the state argued he got because he gave misleading information about his wealth. So he earned, in accordance with these experts, $100 million more than he would have earned because he would have been paying higher interest rates if the value of the assets was less. So if you borrow $100 million and pledge a building worth $1 billion, you're going to pay higher interest rates than if you borrow $100 million and pledge a security a building worth $2 billion. Because the more equity there is in that building, the easier it is for the bank to, and less expensive for the bank to seize it if you don't pay, so they'll give you a more favorable rate. That's the government's theory. So the government's experts said, had he been charged normal rates rather than Donald Trump rates for borrowing money, he would have earned less, himself and his corporation would have earned less. This is the excess income he earned times 0.9% or 0.09 for interest comes to close to $400 million. Now, in terms of what he's going to do, Forbes magazine has a team that tracks his wealth. They've been tracking his wealth for years. According to them, he has liquid assets of about 405 to 410 million. So if you add this 357.58, it keeps going up because of the interest. It's gone up since the judge issued his ruling on Friday. If you add that to the 83 million he owes on the E. Jean Carroll case and the 5 million from the other E. Jean Carroll case, he's depleted his liquid assets. Now, can he file an appeal? Yes. Does he have to post this money in order to file the appeal? No. But he does have to post the money in order to prevent the plaintiffs from executing on their judgment. So if the state says, okay, don't worry, you can go to the appellate court, he doesn't have to post anything. But if the state says, give us your money or we will take it from you, which a judgment creditor can do if the assets are liquid, he will have to post that money by depositing it in cash in a court bank account or by purchasing a bond, which is really an insurance policy naming the government as the beneficiary in case he loses the appeal and he doesn't have any cash. Either way, it's a very expensive proposition for him. You can imagine what the premiums are on an insurance policy of that nature.
Well, with all his digital trading cards and those golden Trump shoes, I think he'll raise money, I think, in all sorts of ways. But I agree with you that this is a huge blow to the rule of law. I think most folks, and we'll have plenty of clips, I think it was Kevin O'Leary on CNN saying this is absurd. Like, why would I want to do business in the state of New York now if you're going to tell me and my bank how we have to do business with one another?
Well, Kevin makes a very good point. You know, as I said, the banks didn't lose a nickel. Everybody made money. Trump didn't take the money that he borrowed from the banks and put it in a shoebox. He used it to develop real estate. That produced thousands of blue-collar jobs and many high-end very high-end buildings and apartments and condominiums, which also produced wealth because you buy those things, you keep them for a few years, they go up in value, you sell them again. It's a win-win-win for everybody. And Kevin's right. If this is the way the government is going to intrude itself. Now, let's say I punch you. Let's make it Eddie. Let's say I punch Eddie in the nose.
Yeah, he deserves it.
He can
I literally encourage every guest I have to hit him. So yeah,
he can sue me for pain and suffering and the damage to his nose. Why? Because I breached a duty not to touch his nose, and that breach caused him harm. But let's say he goes home and his wife or girlfriend looks at the nose and said, "Oh my God, I don't like the way that looks. I'm going to sue that guy that did it to you." Well, I have a duty not to punch a wife or girlfriend in the nose, but I didn't breach that duty. So no breach, no harm, no lawsuit. That's what happened here. Trump did not breach any duty to the government. He did not cause the government any harm. When the court asked the government what the harm was, the government said, well, if Trump had not deceived the banks would have loaned him less money, and there would have been more money around for the banks to loan to other people. Now, that defies basic economics 101. First of all, it presumes that banks lend money from their reserves. They don't.
Right.
They get free fake cash from the Federal Reserve to lend money. And second, lending money to Trump produces immediate wealth because of the vast numbers of people that he hires with that money. None of this is harm to the government or any interest that the government has.
Again, folks, we're talking to Judge Andrew Napolitano. You can always go to judgenap.com or check out his podcast, Judging Freedom, wherever podcasts are available. I tend to watch it on YouTube. And I told folks, just a reminder, that was the light portion of what we're going to talk about because, I mean, your op-ed, I've read it over again this morning, hit me right between the eyes. You essentially make the argument that the United States is in the grip of nihilism and a culture of death. Let's, for the audience out there, explain that.
Well, we're in a culture of death, and I know this is going to get to another topic, that Alabama Supreme Court opinion, which every law student and every lawyer and every judge should read. It's so gifted. But we're in a culture of death because we permit the slaughter of babies in the womb. And we tell babies in the classroom how to change their gender by slaughtering their own bodies. In New Jersey, it is required of 7-year-olds that they be told how to change their gender. Is it any wonder that when the government preaches violence, when the government funds slaughter in Gaza, when the government keeps on life support Ukraine, which has lost 500,000 young men to the Russian military in what is essentially a 300-year-old border dispute, that the government thrives on violence? Is it any wonder when some madman turns around at a Super Bowl celebration and shoots 23 people or goes into a classroom and shoots students? When the government engages in violence, whether it's abortion or the death penalty or anything in between, when the government lauds killing, when the government spends $886 billion a year on the military, more than the next 12 countries, which includes Moscow and Beijing combined, we thrive on a culture of death. And no country can live very long like this. They didn't have abortion in the Roman Empire, but they had all this other killing at the end days of the empire, which is, I think, what we're approaching now. I didn't think all this killing would be happening under a liberal Democrat, but it is. You know, my friend, I just was on his podcast yesterday, and I told him, I quote him almost every day, Tom Woods.
Oh, yeah, great guy.
He's a wonderful guy, a mutual friend of ours, one of the brightest, most articulate people I know. Says no matter who you vote for, you got John McCain. So no matter who you vote for, they want to kill George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. They all want to use that power to kill without justification, without moral basis, without legal basis. These are very, very very dangerous times in which we live. That's the point of this piece that I wrote last week.
Yeah, I encourage folks to read it themselves. Again, you can go to judgenap.com, and it's syndicated all over the country, many different websites picking up your work. And now shifting here to Alabama, and I want to start by quoting the Chief Justice of the great state of Alabama, Tom Parker. And I'm not surprised he wrote this, having gotten to know the man a little bit. He says, quote, "Human life cannot be wrongfully destroyed without incurring the wrath of a holy God who views the destruction of his image as an affront to himself. Even before birth, all human beings bear the image of God, and their lives cannot be destroyed without effacing his glory." Now, I sent this to you this morning. You already, just a second ago, characterized it, but what is your sense of this ruling, and why do you say this should be taught in law schools?
Well, the ruling, here's the basic law. There are 50 states in the union. They each have a constitution, and they each have a court of last resort. In about 45 of them, that's called the state Supreme Court. Some other states have different names for the court of last resort. In Alabama, it's called the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court of Alabama has the final say on the meaning of the Alabama Constitution. Well, who writes the Alabama Constitution? Well, the people do when they periodically add amendments to it. I don't know when the current Alabama Constitution was written, but whenever it was adopted by whoever the voters were at the time, and it is periodically amended. And Alabama's Right to Life Amendment made it very clear that in the state of Alabama, the fetus in the womb is a person entitled to all of the legal protections of personhood. And that's basically what the Supreme Court did today. I mean, it's remarkable because we live in this death culture society. It is not remarkable because it's basically just saying, well, here's the Constitution. It's in plain English. There's very little for us to do except to say, here's what it means. I mean, the case arises in an unusual context involving in vitro fertilization, where the fertilized egg was inadvertently destroyed, and the IVF clinic was being sued for wrongful death. And I don't know how the lower courts ruled, but the Supreme Court said this is going back to trial because this was a person who was inadvertently killed. When the Dobbs decision came down, there are very few right to life people like I who are critical of it. Now, I was critical of it because it unleashed the abortion demons, not in Alabama, but in other states where they naturally reside, right, by leaving this up to the states. Question: have there been more abortions or fewer abortions annually since Roe versus Wade was reversed? There have been more, because places like New Jersey and California, come to New Jersey, have your abortion. You can have your abortion up to the moment after birth. Come to California, we'll give you a hotel room, we'll pay your expenses. We're the abortion capital of the Western world. I encouraged my Princeton classmate in the public, not directly. I want to call him up and get into some sort of an ethical issue. Somebody called me up to try and persuade me, but in my speaking and writing, to characterize the fetus in the womb as a person. The fetus in the womb has human parents, and the fetus in the womb has all of the genetic material within her tiny body to develop into a full-grown post-birth human. So this decision by the Alabama Supreme Court is remarkable for its clarity and its courage, but there's nothing novel about it. It is merely stating the obvious, an obvious statement that the Supreme Court of the United States wouldn't make. Now, Justice William Brennan, who once sat on the same court as I did, he was a trial judge in New Jersey, and he became a justice of the Supreme Court because President Eisenhower's attorney general heard him give a speech that he loved. Anyway, it's a funny story. But he once said, when asked, what does the Constitution mean? Answer: whatever 5 justices say it means. So my guess is that Sam Alito could not get 4 other justices to agree with him, that the fetus in the womb is a person. I may be wrong.
Well, and now we got to get Alabama to be consistent because we're all about the death penalty still in this state. So, but it's, I think it's a great state.
Execution the other day was horrific and monstrous, and the governor should be kicked out of office for permitting it to happen. But that's another story for another time.
Well, I always appreciate your insights and just your passion, especially on these very important, deep issues. And, that quote you started your op-ed with, the reference to Nietzsche, what God is dead and we have killed him and there's not enough water to wash the blood from our hands. Well, I don't think God's fully dead, at least in the great state of Alabama.
And that's it. God bless you. Thank you, Joey. Always a pleasure, my man.
Thank you, Judge. Always appreciate it. Yes, sir. He is really just great to be a friend of his at this point. So, Eddie, you had to go out of the room for a second, too?
Yeah, just for a minute.
He was talking about how, he was trying to lay out how it's one thing to punch a guy in the nose, say it's like Eddie that I'm going to punch in the nose. We'll have to play it back for you. And I said, yeah, I threaten him all the time with violence.
Look at this nose. It's a large nose. You notice there's no breaks in it?
Really?
Well, there's two, but a lot of people.
I was about to say.
No, it's still pretty straight, though. A lot of people try to hit it, but not everybody's been successful. Two of them got in.
Man.
I'll never forget you, Danny. You were the first guy who broke my nose. Johnson Street, Highland Gardens. Middle of the street fight.
Anyway, I hate you to miss that because, to hear the judge threaten you. Not even threaten, just use it as a hypothetical. It's like a very punchable face. It's like, it made my day.
I hear that a lot.
So how did yesterday afternoon go hosting for Greg Budell?
Oh, man, it went really, really well. It's funny when I do radio, I forget things, like at one point we had 5 callers. I forgot we had callers. I just kept talking through that whole segment. But we had some great fun. A lot of people reached out to me after the show, told me how much they appreciated. That warmed my heart. But one of the coolest things was, and you and I didn't talk about it much, that plane crash that Tucker Carlson was in.
I didn't even know about that.
I didn't know. I don't think anyone knew.
And this isn't recent.
No, October, I think 2001.
Wow.
Yeah. And but there's a story out there, and I'll send you the clip. It's a great clip. The plane crash part is just part of it, but and we just had a great time. It was great with Sky. It's great with Rosie. I really love doing that. I appreciate the opportunity Greg gives me.
Yeah, y'all do good work.
Thank you.
So we got to hit this break.
All right.
But before we do, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder. They're at Dillon Rings. And folks, Dillon Rings always has great, exciting new pieces. And if you go to Dillon Rings on the Book of Faces, just type in Dillon Rings. They really do have exciting news. And they need your input. Which custom ring design steals the show? Or do they both steal the show? So you can check out 2 of their stunning creations, Josh Ryder's creations, and cast your vote. Which one should Josh Ryder make first? Your opinion matters. And one is this beautiful purple stone. The other is like this bright orange stone. And they're massive, like beautiful rings. And so this is what they can do there at Dillon Rings. They can, what I believe I'm looking at are digital renderings. Okay. It looks like an actual ring somebody took a picture of.
That's what they look like, yeah.
And so whenever you're doing custom design work with Josh Ryder there at Dillon Rings, you can give a description and your opinion really does matter. You can kind of craft something, be the artist he is, and then give you, hey, here's what it's going to look like once I actually do the work. Here's the digital rendering. And they can even, match your skin tone and have it, look like it's on your finger or something like that. And so you give them a yay or nay, but it's a great process and they can create truly unique, wonderful pieces. Just again, go to the Facebook page Dillon Rings to see how this process
Which way
works.
are you leaning? I kind of think you're going to be leaning towards the purple.
I'm about the purple.
I love that orange.
I like the purple.
I
you like that orange?
I do. It's like it really draws my attention. The purple is pretty, but I've seen that quite often, but that orange really draws my attention to it. That's beautiful.
I mean, they're both beautiful, but I like that purple with the gold. It's almost like, it looks like rose gold.
It does.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Yeah, Josh Ryder, true artist.
Yeah.
And of course, Josh and Leslie both can help you out. Full service jewelry shop there at Dillon Rings. You can, again, always go to the Book of Faces or search Dillon Rings on Instagram or, go to DillonRings.com. But I really encourage you to stop by their showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old fun zone used to be. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie from the radio sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
I'm Republican Jacqueline Tomlinson. You've heard me here on the Greg Budell Show quite a bit over the years. Running for office is the last thing I thought I'd do, but when your community calls, you answer. With more than 15 years of family law experience, I've helped local families through some of their toughest times. And so, I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on Tuesday, March 5th for Circuit Judge.
Vote for my mommy!
Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, from the moment we pick up the phone, you will hear the difference. We are passionate about what we do. To us, you're not just another applicant. When you call on us, you are trusting that we have your best interest at heart, and we do. We treat our customers like family, and that's why our customers turn into family, coming back to us time and time again. We know you have many options when it comes to mortgage financing, and we appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. We are excited to hear from you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our passion is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586 368, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey there, River Region area. Dawson Electric hopes you had an amazing Christmas and a fantastic New Year. As we step into 2024, it's time to tackle those resolutions and make sure your home or business is in tip-top shape. And for all your electrical needs, there's one name you can trust, Dawson Electric. Whether you're planning a remodel, constructing a new home, or require service for your existing electrical systems, Dawson Electric has got you covered. Need emergency generators installed? Looking to enhance your outdoor space with stunning landscape lighting? Dawson Electric is the answer. We do it all for homes and commercial spaces alike. For more information, you can find us on Facebook. Search for Dawson Electric Company, LLC. Hit the like button and stay connected with us. We're happy to speak with you at any time. Just call 334-270-8024. Say it with me. That's 334-270-8024. For all your electrical service needs for home or business, call us at Dawson Electric. Dawson Electric, lighting up your world.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. Been telling you folks this show's packed because now we have on the line the one, the only, really needs no introduction, General Michael Flynn. General, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. And I'm glad I finally connected with you guys. And I love, I love coming on the show. I know it's been a great contact here, but I love Alabama and love everything you guys represent. So thanks for what you're doing.
And thank you for joining us. And you've been making endorsements all over the state. In particular, a lot of our listening audience is in this Alabama 6th District, and you've endorsed Jarek Wilkins?
I sure have. And I've spoken with him, met with him, and Jarek is just a terrific guy and great leader. And I kind of look for the leadership in people as much as I do what they stand for. And, he stands for things like defense, and one of the big things I am pushing with a lot of people that I am endorsing is this idea of term limits, because I think that people that there's been a lot of people that have run and they go, I'm for term limits, and they get in there and they don't do it, and I know that I've spoken with Derek about it, and and I believe him. I believe that he is for term limits. It has to happen. And of course, our nation's security, particularly this invasion that's going on our southern border, and it no longer is just affecting. In fact, it's been impacting every aspect of every state in this country, and I know Alabama's right there as well. You guys know it. You feel it. I'm calling from Florida. We feel it here in Florida, the invasion. We see it. I was just up in Kentucky last night. Kentucky's got problems. I was up in New Hampshire not too many months ago. New Hampshire's got problems with the illegal invasion. So we've got to really get that stopped, because we've got to get it under control, because it's not just this invasion of our border. It's also the introduction of Chinese-produced, Mexican cartel-introduced fentanyl, which we're now looking at about 150,000 to 200,000. I call it killed in action on the streets of America by this drug. And most people don't realize that they have introduced a new component inside of this fentanyl, some type of horse tranquilizer that almost automatically kills whoever uses it. So, those are the things. Jarek is for safety, the security of the people from Alabama, of the great district that he's part of, and I think that people need to take a hard look at him. I know he's behind President Donald J. Trump's America First agenda, and that's a big deal to me. I think that we have. I think everybody sees the country. It feels like we're going off the rails, and that's because of the Democratic Socialist Party agenda, which there's really no Democrat Party anymore. It's really a Democratic Socialist Party that has taken over that party, basically, that ideology. And this is for real, folks. And I think in Alabama you don't feel it as much. You might not see it as much. You probably feel it at the gas pump or at the store when you're buying groceries, maybe. But it's happening all over the country, where we have a takeover by this socialist movement of this country, and it's very real. It's very real, and I want people to understand that. So that's why I'm for Jarek. Jarek Wilkins is a great guy. He's got all kinds of experience doing the many things in his life, and he's a terrific leader. I like people who are willing to stand up, step up, speak out, and really take the burden of responsibility on their shoulders. And Jarek is willing to do that.
And I've interviewed Jarek several times now here on the show, and read his book. And you're right, fantastic man with a lot of passion. I think also foresight. And again, folks, we're talking to General Michael Flynn. That is the voice you're hearing endorsing Jarek Wilkins. And one thing I want to bring up with you, General Flynn, is as you're going around the country and trying to find great America First leaders, as you're trying to find folks that could actually help us fight back against the Democratic Socialists, if you will, what do you make of this misinformation infrastructure that has been built up? Of course, to me, it doesn't seem like they're fighting misinformation. It seems they're fighting the truth and just calling it misinformation. But how do we fight back against this behemoth they've built?
Yeah, and it's a great word, behemoth. It's a great word to use. So this is a federal government that has created an industry of censorship. And don't take my word for it. Just go listen to some of the testimony given by people like Matt Taibbi, Schellenberger, from the Weaponization Committee of Congress and the House Judiciary Committee. You can go listen to the Director of Homeland Security, Secretary of Homeland Security. Go listen to the Director of the FBI as they talk about these things. So this censorship community that it goes after the truth. And the thing about the truth, right? Like we always know, right? The truth hurts. I say that the truth fears no enemies. And at times, what is happening is we are finding people that are conservatives being targeted. And this is not a conspiracy theory. We have the facts on this. People are being targeted. I was one of them. Particularly in the 2016 campaign, and then when Trump became the president in 2017, and there's institutions in government, and they worked directly with these tech titans like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter before it was owned by Elon Musk. So yeah, in order to fix these, what we're going to have is we're going to have, number one, we've got to get Trump into office. And I think people like Jarek is another one of those people that you get him into Congress. I mean, we have people in Congress today that are fighting tooth and nail, and some of them are actually for this sort of stuff. And we can't have this. We cannot have this anymore. I mean, this nation is a nation built on freedom and built on our Constitution, but built on our First Amendment, and that's why they made it the First Amendment. And we have to be able to have the ability to be able to speak freely, regardless of whether or not somebody agrees with you. And we have an entire structure, a superstructure, if you will, in government. So we need people that are smart about government. And I think under the leadership of President Trump, under the leadership of guys like Jarek Wilkins getting in there into Congress, we can actually take these institutions apart, because that's what's going to have to happen. They're going to need to be disassembled and put away forever. And, it doesn't mean that all the people that are serving in these institutions are bad. I will say that there are some that probably are, or nefarious, and they do believe in this socialist way of government. But I think, a lot of people in government are generally doing what they're being told to do. But we have to be able to tell them, thank you for your service. Go down, go get a job down in Alabama, go get a job in Nebraska, go get a job out in the middle of the country and go see what the rest of the world is like. And I think we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to disassemble some of these institutions, particularly that are involved in this censorship. We cannot have that in a free society or a country that we are a constitutional republic type of government. We can't have that.
Again, folks, talking to General Michael Flynn, and you anticipated my next question. Myself and my sidekick here, we were really impressed in the early primaries with Vivek Ramaswamy, and it's great to see Mr. Ramaswamy now working with President Trump, but it was that bold, almost wrecking ball approach, in particular in matters of national security. I know the criticism is going to be, well, we have to defend the nation. People will die. Do you just call BS on that? No, these things have to be, we need a wrecking ball.
Yeah, I would, so from my perspective, I didn't go to war because I hate an enemy. I went to war because I love our country. Amen. And I think that everybody needs to reflect on that. We love our country, right? Every American that's listening to this radio talk show here, I know that they're great people. They're the Alabamans, they're great people, and they want to do the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing is the harder right? And that means that we are going to have to look at things that have been created by the federal government, and we're going to have to take them apart. I mean, brick by brick, not to hurt those people that have been placed in those. Again, I do believe that there's going to be some accountability that needs to happen of people, but we have to take these institutions apart. Our federal government, has grown so obese. And it rides on top of our shoulders and beats us like a horse, right? Like a mule. It beats the American people like a mule. We cannot have that in a society that is about we the people, right? The preamble to our great documents, right? We the people. So we the people need to get involved. Need to have what's I call local action. Local action will have a national impact if people stand up, step up, speak up, get involved. That's why I like Jarek Wilkins, because Jarek is one of those kind of guys that he said, enough is enough. I'm going to get involved. And he's going after, frankly, the untruth and the lies of those that he's fighting, that he's going to run against. Because when somebody says, I'm for term limits and then keeps running for office, you're not for term limits, right? That's a part that is going to have to be also disassembled. That's going to be a little bit harder because Congress is going to have to make that decision themselves. That doesn't come from the executive branch, the power of the president. That comes only from Congress. So we need members of Congress who are brave enough to take that on. But the executive power of the president of the United States, that's why these people are fighting so hard for Trump not to go back in, is because as the executive of our nation, the president of the United States, and only the president, can make decisions, big decisions about elements of the federal government to basically eliminate them, and to stop doing many of the things that the federal government does. And the federal government, everybody knows this, is so far and so deep into our lives. It has to stop. And the reason why it has to stop, because we are moving towards socialism, folks. We're not moving towards, what we call this beautiful experiment in democracy called a constitutional republic. That's the direction. That's the path that I want to keep this country on. That's why I'm for President Donald J. Trump, and that's why I'm for Jarek Wilkins to become a member of Congress, and he can do it.
Well, I really appreciate you calling in today, sir. And if you're ever in the area, we have an open door. You're always welcome here on this program. And
you're in Montgomery, right?
Yes, sir.
I love Montgomery. I've been up there plenty of times. I will take you up on that.
Absolutely. Like I said, open door. And and Jarek will be on the show next week again, folks, for those keeping score. But thank you, General. I really appreciate the time today.
All right. God bless.
God bless. And General Michael Flynn.
How you like that?
Man, I've been telling folks, we got a packed show.
Yeah.
Election day is bringing out all the big guns.
Sure is.
So what do you make of this ruling by the Alabama Supreme Court? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, you are. I got to be honest, Joey. I see things a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the nicest way to put it. I don't. It's tough all the way around. It's not an easy decision, but I don't.
Don't be shy in the sense that we were talking about this before we went on air today. I think the people that brought the initial suit
right
had a very good point.
Agreed. But it's just, I worry how things can get twisted, and you can go to intend to do some good and then pass a law that does not, does just the opposite.
Well, and actually that's what the Alabama Supreme Court said. This is up to the legislature.
That's what I worry about.
And so the one dissent has a point that this is based on a very old law. I don't think the principle in that old law, like Judge Napolitano was saying, is wrong.
Right.
But it could be okay, if something, embryo is frozen.
Enforcement of that. And who determines what?
And this is, I think, going to continue to be not just adjudicated, but I think there will be questions for lawmakers on this technology and all sorts of other stuff coming down the road.
Right.
And that's always the rub. How do you apply essentially eternal principles as best as we can glean them with our own reason to the new technologies that we are bringing to bear?
I hate saying it, but in Alabama, we're so far behind that 8 ball on new technology.
Yeah.
That's why it makes me scared. And the people that we have writing this law, they're way behind on any kind of technology.
And the one criticism of this ruling that from the internet, because this has gone international now, that drives me nuts is he's basing it in religion. I'm like, okay, because all of your deeply held beliefs and principles, secular liberal person, you can prove it all rationally, right?
No.
With just pure logic and reason, you can. No, you can't.
Most of them can't talk 30 seconds without becoming irrational.
Well, there are things in life, axioms. There are things that you assume. There are things that you often feel that there's a conviction there. And I don't care if you claim you believe in God or not. You have those sorts of things that guide your life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not conscious. But this distinction that's constantly being made, especially by more left-leaning, so-called secular folks, that they're religious, we're not. I'm like, no, I don't think you live your life that way. And the way you're trying to impose your lifestyle on others suggests you have your own point of view.
Exactly.
And so this idea that we have the neutral position, no, you don't. It's the myth of neutrality. And I've been dragged, kicking and screaming to that conclusion. I wanted there to be this sort of neutral set of laws.
There's
and then
not.
we can get along. But that's just
it
not
don't
the way.
exist. It does
at least
not exist.
with the current society we're in, that ain't in the cards.
No.
It ain't in the
You got
cards.
two
at all.
extremes, and it's where you fall.
Right.
It drives me nuts because there is no happy medium anymore.
Well, we do have to hit this break. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. The weather news couldn't be better for a week in February, I tell you. Lots of sunshine again today. Well, a little warmer than yesterday with a high around 66. Clear skies. Not quite as chilly tonight, low 37. Tomorrow's high temperature in the lower 70s. Thursday, I think we're in the mid 70s. Lots of sunshine. The risk of showers holding off until Thursday night, maybe into Friday morning, but not much. And dry weather returns for the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Looking for a tractor, excavator, mower, ag implements, or other equipment? Capital Tractor is as close as your smartphone or computer. Find the best deals, financing information, and browse new and used inventory with just a click at capitaltractor.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hello, Alabama. This is your all-time favorite president, Donald J. Trump. My friend, Congressman Gary Palmer, is running for re-election to Alabama's 6th Congressional District. Gary is an America First conservative who is fighting to secure our border, strengthen our military, and protect and defend our undersea Second Amendment. Alabama, please get out and vote for Gary Palmer for Congress on March 5th. He will not let you down. Thank you.
I'm Gary Palmer, and I approve this message.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
Hey, Joey.
Like I said, we got a busy, packed show today. On the phone line now, we have the one, the only Dr. Stuart Tankersley. Doc, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, you're doing great, guys. Thank you. How are y'all?
Wonderful. We're surviving, carrying on like, well, at least I'm carrying on like the wayward son I am for the time being. A little classic rock pun there. Now, you have some news, some latest figures on the fallout from COVID, fallout maybe from this vaccine regime, about excess death numbers. Tell the audience about this.
Yeah, I think following General Flynn, he talked about the Constitution, and the preamble to it says our Creator gave us these rights for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I think that the liberals hate life. They certainly don't love liberty, and it's a misery that they inflict on others. It's very sad, and the worst of it is, and he laid out a lot of it, and I think one of the things when he said we need to get rid of some of these institutions, we need to get rid of the Alabama Department of Public Health as it currently exist because they have inflicted on us immeasurable harm. And the latest news, I was watching John Campbell has a YouTube channel. He has 3 million subscribers. He's listened to a lot. And in today's presentation, there are 136,000 views in the past 7 hours. He lays out the latest excess deaths in our country in 2022 and in the first 9 months of 2023. In that time, the excess deaths in 2022 were 496,000, which is a 17.53% increase. And in the first 9 months of 2023, 156,000, that's a 7.8% increase in excess deaths. These shots are killing millions of people. It is an evil we've never had to deal with before. You know, in World War II, there were 405,000 servicemen that died, and we just now we're looking at 652,000 excess deaths in 1.75 years. This is an insanity. We've got to get rid of Scott Harris, and the Alabama Department of Public Health has got to be accountable to our legislature. As it exists now, the ADPH is not accountable to the legislature.
Amen. I agree with that change. It needs to be done now. It needs to be done this session. Hopefully there's support there in the legislature. Is there any coding of the deaths, like what they're officially giving the reasons for why these excesses are happening?
Yeah, we know how these shots are killing people. Mainly it's in blood clots, strokes, heart attacks, but it's exponentially more people are being injured by these things, by these shots. And a simple question that nobody can answer is, why would we give a shot to somebody, much less billions of people, that forces the body to then produce a known toxin by millions and billions of it, and that is the spike protein, that is a known toxin. It's been a known toxin since at least 2008. Why in the world would we do this to people? And now we're looking at we're seeing the tip of the iceberg in these excess deaths. I was at another funeral with a family member of mine a week and a half ago, and he said, man, I've been at more funerals in the last 6 months than I've been in my life. And I was like, well, I think I know why. And he turned around and walked away because he believes in the lies of COVID. But this is insane what we're doing. And what is this is the 5th legislative session since all this insanity started. And they're focusing on penalizing the poorest and dumbest in the community for gambling. This is insane. Who is the leadership in the Republican Party in our state?
Well, K-Ivis, sugar. And we'll see where all this goes. But yeah, with the jabs, correct me if I'm wrong, but the design itself is designed to where the spike protein doesn't go throughout the body. And I suppose
No. It goes in every organ of the body.
Okay.
And they knew that.
They knew
it. Goes into every organ. Yeah, they did, because the biodistribution studies that Japan required revealed that. And they knew that before they rolled them out.
So it's worse than, because that was months old information. I was remembering listening to Robert Malone. So it's now been shown with more research that they knew this would happen. It's not just a mistake.
Well, you got to, in the 1930s, people should have paid attention to what Hitler wanted to do. He told them in Mein Kampf 10 years before. Mm-hmm. At some point, somebody should have said, well, maybe we should read what he wants to do. And these people have told us for decades what they wanted to do is population control. This isn't speculation. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is the ultimate conspiracy. But it is not a conspiracy theory by any means. The Kissinger report of 1974, the whole goal of it was a top secret report that Henry Kissinger commissioned when he was the national security advisor simultaneous to being Secretary of State. He's the only person that's ever done that. And it was a confidential, highly secret document the Kissinger report in 1974 was, how do we control population?
Right. And
that's
now
the game they've been playing like never before.
And it really is. It's crazy. But I'm running out of time here, so I would love to have you back when we could do maybe a whole hour here in the studio.
Love that.
Just to talk about the latest. But I really appreciate your time as always, Doc.
Thank you so much.
Again, that's Dr. Stuart Tankersley. Whew. What an hour. What an hour of show. In fact, even one guy that constantly is, ribbing us saying, this show is on fire, fellas. Romex Angler saying that. And he goes on to say, Joey, you have way too much forehead showing today. No, you're just used to seeing me wearing a hat.
Baby. That's some five head right there. I got to be honest, Joey. You need to kind of bring that part down a little bit. Adjust your do just a little bit.
Just do that.
Adjust the toupee a little bit.
So I should just do the classic Alabama frat boy swipe. No, I don't think that's going to work. So
I say yes until you do it.
Especially with the headphones on, I don't think that's going to work.
You're much more professional than that.
Yeah, I don't I don't need to do the comb over, but that really is the classic frat boy, the bangs to the side thing. Yeah, I don't like that. But so you got to get used to my forehead.
I love that look right there. That's good. That's action, Joey.
He goes on to say, it's good to see the beard getting thicker. It should be filled in by Christmas 2025. Okay, thanks for the compliments. And then I shouldn't have gone to the comments.
Don't let the chat win, Joey. Don't let the chat win.
Ralph Hughes typing in, saying, General Flynn is right on regarding the current political breed.
Yes.
I think he's being overly kind calling them democratic socialists. They're Marxists, no two ways about it. Well, there's something all right. I think we're in a day and age, actually, where all these descriptors and labels don't quite fit. They're all rooted in these old ideas, but we're dealing with a whole new, different type of thing.
It's a new type of evil. Yeah. It really is.
It's a unique despotism that the West is facing this time around. Before we hit this break, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell in the River Region real estate market. Bo's been working here 40 plus years, I think he's almost near 50 at this point. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling your property, but they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. The Goodson Group is also home of the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed real estate programs in Alabama, because, a lot of folks get up to speed, hit the ground running, and find success immediately after graduating from Bo's school, whether it's fully licensed realtors or as more knowledgeable private players. So check them out today. Always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. And be sure to tell Bo and the team that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Biden traveling to California for 3 days of mostly political events. The president returning to the West Coast for a series of campaign fundraisers and one official White House event. He's scheduled to attend political events in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Los Altos Hills tonight through Thursday. The Alabama Supreme Court ruling that frozen embryos created during fertility treatments should be considered children under state law. In consumer news, American Airlines raising bag fees and pushing customers to buy tickets directly from the airline if they want to earn frequent flyer points. Checking a bag on domestic flights will rise from $30 now to $35. It'll be $40 if purchased at the airport. Stocks are sharply lower. The NASDAQ is down 234 points. This is SRN News.
New FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. And remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH and the number 989898 right now. And I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. The weather news couldn't be better for a week in February. I tell you, lots of sunshine again today. Well, a little warmer than yesterday with a high around 66. Clear skies. Not quite as chilly tonight, low 37. Tomorrow's high temperature in the lower 70s. Thursday, I think we're in the mid 70s. Lots of sunshine. The risk of showers holding off until Thursday night, maybe into Friday morning, but not much. And dry weather returns for the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Alabama lawmakers are beginning the third week of the legislative session. The gaming bills that flew through the House are not up for debate this week in the Alabama Senate. The bills need a 2/3 majority to pass. In the Senate, that's 21 votes. Some lawmakers say the votes just aren't there. Former Auburn running back and assistant coach Carnell Cadillac Williams is expected to be named the Las Vegas Raiders' new running backs coach today. Cadillac Williams was initially hired as Auburn's running back coach by former head coach Gus Malzahn in 2019. An Alabama death row inmate is suing the state to stop Alabama's use of nitrogen gas executions. Convicted murderer David Wilson's lawsuit claims the method is cruel and unusual punishment and argues that nitrogen gas asphyxiation is inherently inhumane and would be particularly painful. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Hey, this is Ray Bowles of Prattville Carpet. And since we've been advertising on Blue Water, our sales have increased dramatically. Blue Water has a large listening audience that is very faithful to their advertisers, and we greatly appreciate that. If you're thinking about advertising for your business, I would highly recommend Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. Eddie's still here.
I'm here.
And now we also have in the studio Madeline Cannon of Alabama Home Mortgage. Madeline, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing great.
I got a question. Who called who? Which one of you two called the other one and said, hey, make sure we dress alike today? Because you guys are dressed alike today. If only Joey had a sweet little funky fresh medallion to go around his necklace.
Oh, I got a song you got to listen to called My Medallion.
Oh.
Yeah, I just heard it for the first time last night. It's made me laugh. Anyway,
who called it?
We didn't.
Who called it?
Maybe
we were just on the same wavelength.
Exactly, on the same wavelength. Exactly.
And that wavelength is
The one you're not on.
Justice. We're just gonna from now on. I'm just gonna start adjusting cameras live because this is
Just do it
an
live.
amateur operation.
Just do it
still.
live.
But how's it going? How's business right now?
Doing great. Everybody is gearing up for the spring market, which is the hot time
Yes.
for selling and buying real estate.
Why is the hot time?
Well, I guess it's because the kids are getting out of school, military's getting their orders, so just a lot of shifting around.
And you get cabin fever. You've been sitting up in the house. You're tired of looking at your house. You want to get out and look at a nice new one.
Yeah. Starting to stay daylight longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the hot season is right around the corner?
Yes.
What should people be considering?
Well, they need to get pre-approved. I always tell
Thank
people
you.
instead of waiting until the perfect one shows up on the market in a few weeks and then having to kind of back into it and call a lender and get pre-approved after you've already fallen in love with the house, let's go ahead and take the steps to get you pre-approved before you start your house hunt in a few weeks.
Good idea.
That makes sense. That way, like if you go hunting first and then you
Well, you're
fall in
ready.
love with something and you're not pre-approved, you might miss out on that dream house.
Might
Oh,
miss
yeah.
out is right
Yeah.
now you
You
probably
will miss out.
Right now you will
Yeah.
because
Time is
inventory
everything.
is tight and timing is everything right now.
Yeah.
And where is the market today? I know. I guess it's kind of a question for both of y'all. But like let's extend the large area, not just Montgomery, the whole river region.
We got low inventory and interest rates are a little bit higher than they need to be.
Sure.
They've
So-
ticked back upward since we last spoke. The consumer pricing index numbers came in, job numbers, and the forecast was not as they had anticipated. So the rates have come up a little bit, not as high as they were this time last year.
Correct.
But still, not something that we wanted to see.
Now, is a refinance still a good idea for folks? Say maybe
Yeah.
they bought or refinanced last year and the rates came down a little lower. And
Well, certainly, especially if they have some credit card debt.
That's right.
That's the big thing. Your interest rate on a credit card, and we talk about it all the time, you're in the double digits. Why would you pay that when you can use the equity?
the average is what, like 29%?
29%, yeah.
Yeah, and it's going up. So when
Exactly.
the Federal Reserve increases rates, they're increasing rates on unsecured debt, meaning credit cards and also auto loans. Now they do not actually control the interest rates of mortgages. Now, obviously, they influence them in a big way. And so when people hear that the Federal Reserve is raising rates, not necessarily on the mortgage side, right? But you can bet that credit card rate's going up. So I tell everybody, it doesn't really matter what if you've got a 4% mortgage rate and you've got a 30% credit card rate, your blended rate's 26%.
Right. And that's a really good point because so many people don't get that.
Yeah.
They look at the interest rate on their house and like now, let's say it's 5 or 6, 7%. They're like, oh, that's just high. And I'll ask them, what are you paying on your car? I don't even know that interest rate.
Yeah, because all they know is the payment. They go into the
Exactly.
car dealer and say, I don't want a car payment over $600. Well, they don't look at the interest rate of the term.
Nope.
They'll bump it out 84 months
Yep.
and put it on a 9% interest rate.
Yep.
And they're not concerned because they get to leave in that car they love and they're happy with the payment. And that's what I tell everybody. If we can put you in a better position at month end where you've got more
Right.
money in your pocket, what does it matter what your interest rate is?
And that's a big thing. And honestly, a lot of buyers that we're running into, it's changed where they used to want interest rates and things like that. But now it's like buying a car. They go, I just need my house payment to be X.
That's right.
Like,
Because the
you know,
rent's
that's-
not getting any cheaper.
Right. Rent is only going up, especially in this Tri-County area. I just increased some rent on people the other day. It's going up because the demand is there.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, interest rate on rent is 100%.
Right. And then these investors, if they're not paying cash, they're getting mortgages themselves.
Yep.
And they're getting them at a higher interest rate than those that are purchasing a primary residence, right?
Yep.
So they're going to pass that cost along to you. So it's not cheaper to rent.
It's not.
Right.
By no means, not right now.
And now let's also remind folks of what you there at Alabama Home Mortgage can do for them when it comes to student loans.
Right. So typically when you do a cash out refinance, so like what we're talking about to pay off credit card debt, you're getting hit with a higher interest rate than somebody who's just refinancing the balance of their existing mortgage. It makes sense, right? Because you're borrowing more money to pay off
Right,
other
right.
debt. We're consolidating. Well, there is a caveat now where you can do a rate term refinance to pay off student loans. So you're getting the benefit of a lower interest rate. It's treated like you're just refinancing your house, but you're going to be able to pay off those student loans once and for all, which is going to put you in a much better position. Because I know most people for the last couple of years, they took advantage of the moratorium on the payments.
Yeah.
And so now that they're being hit with making those payments, it's a mortgage in and of itself.
Sure.
Wow.
I mean, the average student loan is $40,000.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch. Well, I know my brother's wife. She went through medical school.
I hear you. I went through law school, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
with you. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
right.
what it costs for higher education, and it's not
crazy,
cheap.
especially the lawyers, doctors. It's a lot of those graduate degrees. That gum,
Yeah.
like, and I know there are a lot of young people who are doing the right things, making the right choices, but they still feel stuck. So it could be a very good way to help you out. I like that idea. And y'all are still VA home loan certified there at Alabama Home Mortgage?
So certified veteran lending specialist. We pride ourselves in keeping up with the VA program and its ever-changing guidelines. We are licensed in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee. So there's military installations, obviously, in all those states. A lot of people are coming into Maxwell at this time. I've got some people coming into, oh gosh, what is it called now? It's not Fort Benning anymore. They changed the name.
Word that long now. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, we're getting a lot of people coming in from Georgia. And then vice versa, people coming out of Alabama headed to Georgia. So if you've got friends and family that are in neighboring states, we can now take care of them in Alabama Home Mortgage.
Okay, so folks can always go online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
Right.
Or just call y'all direct, 567-4223.
That's right. You can pick up the phone and give us a call. We can get started today, 567-4223, or visit us online to complete an application on your time at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
Folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline here prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. You got time to hang out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that might be a call for you, or it might be one of the town drunks. Who knows?
To be determined.
It happens. Like, you never know what you're going to get here. Okay. Okay.
Eddie's giving us the nod.
Yeah, he's like, no, this isn't an on-air thing. No, everything okay?
Yeah, we had some sideshow business. We took.
Sideshow business. Okay.
I bring out the crazies.
Oh, honey,
No.
have you
seen
been on a date with Joey and to see the crazies that he attracts?
Leave Joey alone.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, he's not in denial of it. It's kind of one of the
Right.
thing on his resume.
Right. It's got to be like substance abuse or daddy issues. Or,
Oh, so it's a woman.
yeah.
I mean, you're just describing women, Joey.
Eddie Bader. You should be ashamed.
I only do this when I have women like you in here that I know are going to put me in check immediately.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think like years ago when I went on a proper date. And not to get maudlin, but it was right after my mom died, and they tell you don't fall for the first person that brings you a casserole, so to speak. Now, in this case, this young lady made me pizza rolls, and I was like, man, I'm right back in college.
Pizza rolls, what a delicacy.
Yeah, I know. What a lady.
She knew what she was doing.
But I
Burn the roof of
like,
your mouth.
actually took her on a proper date, and it was, I'm trying to think, it's because the restaurant changes all the time in Cloverdale.
Oh, yeah.
The A&P Lofts,
Yep.
essentially.
Okay.
And I can't remember what restaurant it was at that time. It was a fairly nice one. And we're just sitting out there, afternoon kind of date, drinking some beer, going to get some food. And the waiter walks up and goes, "You're Joey Clark."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You planned this?" I'm like, "No, nobody ever says that sort of thing." No, seriously, I could walk around this town and nobody ever mess with me. It's, I think it's my dude privilege. Like, nobody will talk to me unless I talk to them.
Well, you could kind of hide in a way before you had all the cameras and everything. You could just be
This
a voice.
is true.
Yeah, we are getting recognized more.
A lot more,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, but enough about the show. Let's do the show, not just talk about the show.
Oh, sideshow action. Sorry.
Oh, sideshow action. I don't even know what that means.
It doesn't sound good.
Oh, it's good. I
Okay.
promise it's good.
Okay.
Now, the Pacific Legal Foundation is suing Governor Ivey
Meemaw.
over a board, one of the board's racial quotas.
Oh?
Sadly, Alabama governors are sometimes required to discriminate, sugar.
Huh?
Huh? Yeah, that's the headline from 1819 News. So here's the deal. I want to hit a break.
All
We'll
right.
come back to that and many other stories. But it's just like when it rains, it pours in the heart
With
of Dixie.
crazies, yeah.
With crazies?
With crazies.
Ain't no step too high for a high stepper.
Go, girl.
No way, Jose.
Clip that. Clip that.
Mister, what you think that impersonate? I know that Joey Clark fool. Oh, and making fun of me. We'll get to that in just a second. You'll stay tuned.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
I'm Republican Jacqueline Tomlinson. You've heard me here on the Greg Budell Show quite a bit over the years. Running for office is the last thing I thought I'd do, but when your community calls, you answer. With more than 15 years of family law experience, I've helped local families through some of their toughest times. And so, I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on Tuesday, March 5th for Circuit Judge.
Vote for my mommy.
Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Who's there? It's Bill, the electrician, here to make your home burglar-proof.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought maybe you were an intruder.
No, ma'am. I'm a burglar's worst nightmare.
If your house doesn't have sufficient outdoor lighting, it's a prime target for intruders. That's why you should call Crosby Electric today.
How's it going, Bill?
Just fine, ma'am. See, when your intruder trips this wire, it grabs him by the foot and hangs him upside down.
Really?
The experts at Crosby Electric will install lighting that not only discourages intruders, but also makes it safer for you and your guests to navigate around steps, pools, and other tripping hazards.
Bill, is that contraption safe?
Oh, sure. It's disarmed now, but... Bill, like I said, I'm a burglar's worst nightmare.
I see.
You mind cutting me down, ma'am?
Avoid your worst nightmare. Call the outdoor lighting experts at Crosby Electric or visit crosbyelectric.com.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you have a big event coming up.
February is the biggest month we've had in years because this is our 30th anniversary, and it will be February the 24th from 9 until 6.
Anything special going to happen that day?
There will be surprises, giveaways. You can use gift certificates on that beautiful mahogany furniture that we've got, and we've got gorgeous mahogany. Some of it is signed pieces, as a matter of fact. We've got the Tiffany style lamps. We've got chests and beds and tables and chairs. And it's just so much. I can't really get across to you how much we've got.
All right, the date and hours for your big anniversary sale?
February 24th, 9 until 6.
And give us those regular hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, as promised, here's the story. The Pacific Legal Foundation, Pacific, like the ocean.
Okay.
Like specific?
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be confused.
Yeah.
Right. Just making sure.
The Pacific Ocean?
Yeah.
Which one?
Pacific Ocean you talking about?
No, the Pacific Legal Foundation sued Governor Kay Abbott last week in federal court over a requirement for 2 members of the Alabama Real Estate Appraisers Board to be racial minorities. Under Alabama law, this board is comprised of 9 members, all of whom are appointed by the governor. 7 members must be real property appraisers, 1 from each of Alabama's congressional districts, 1 must be a representative of an appraisal management company, and 1 must be a member of the public who does not do real estate appraisal work. From its enactment in 1990, the statute creating this board required 2 of the 9 board members, quote, shall be of a minority race. Pacific Legal Foundation is representing the American Alliance for Equal Rights in the lawsuit. They're a 501c3 that has nationwide membership. They're based in Austin, Texas, and their mission is to challenge racial classifications and racial preferences in America, according to the lawsuit. According to the suit, the public or at-large member positions on this board is currently vacant and has been since November 2021. There are currently fewer than 2 racial minorities on the board. An unnamed Prattville resident, identified as Alliance Member A in the lawsuit, is listed as someone currently barred from serving on the board due to state law. She is not a member of any racial minority group and does not identify as a racial minority. Member A is a staunch believer in and advocate for the importance of both public service and protecting constitutional rights, including property rights, said Glenn Roper, an attorney for this legal foundation. So long as this racial quota remains in place, members of the alliance who are not racial minorities will never receive equal consideration for openings on the AREAB. Huh.
I have nothing but sustain for all boards. They bring no value. They only take.
You got to read Freedom's Forge that I read over the weekend, because it was like Washington, D.C. board stuff. Like the New Dealers, yeah.
They only take.
We got to set up this alphabet soup of different things. That's a fascinating lawsuit. So I don't think Governor Ivey necessarily would be hostile even to that idea. It's just this is Alabama law and has been since 1990. But the attorney, Roper, has asked the court to declare the racial mandate in violation of the Equal Protection Clause and a, quote, permanent prohibitory injunction forbidding the governor and her agents from enforcing or attempting to enforce the racial mandate. I have no clue where this is going to go. I'm not a lawyer in that sense, but that is, it's fascinating, all these legal fights we're now having out of the 60s, but you just haven't...
What's wrong with just whoever is the most qualified person, whether they got 3 eyes, 2 eyes, or no eyes? Why can't they have the job?
Well, that's just hunky speak.
Whatever. Call it what it is. But do you want the most diversified pilot flying your plane, or do you want the most qualified person flying your plane, Joey?
I would like the most qualified person.
Diversified heart surgeon?
Right.
Or do you want the best in class?
Yeah, and I don't think diversity amounts enough, and that's not just my... amounts to much. That's not just my opinion, though. Like, there's a great social scientist. He tends to be leaning more to the left, Robert Putnam. And he did the famous bowling alone. How Americans aren't joining civic groups and bowling leagues and fraternal groups. All these groups that really make society hum is just not as much in America compared to especially like 50, 60 years ago. About 4 years ago, I think he came out with a study on diversity. What's the effect of having a more diverse population in a given area? And he said what it came up with is people watch more TV and there are more marches and protests.
Yeah.
So the only time diversity is actually worth something is when, say, a church is diverse and they're all looking to the same message, looking to God. Or the military's diverse. They're all working towards the same exact goal. But when you put diversity as the number one goal, and aside from any other overriding, say, goal that allows you to transcend your differences and find what's in common, then yeah, it's not necessarily always divisive and bad, but it doesn't really have much of an effect at all.
At that point, you lost your way. You kind of lost the meaning. The meaning is not to be necessarily the most diverse, it's to be the best.
Well, and
you have to be the best.
And I can't play it because he starts cursing, and rightfully so. There's a brilliant professor, economics chair, I believe, at Brown University, named Glenn Lowry. And he's been conservative. He worked with Reagan. Then he went more left-wing, studying reparations and different things. Now he's kind of back more conservative sensibility. But when you listen to Glenn Lowry, he essentially, his point was, not to toot my own horn here, but damn it, I was smart. I'm like that guy in Good Will Hunting. They found me. They took me to MIT, and I was good at what I did. I found out I wasn't the upper echelon, but damn it, I was smart. I was good. I was a whiz kid, and that's why I advanced. And it galls me to no end that because we have these affirmative action programs, there are people that look at me and think I didn't earn this, and don't think I am as smart and as accomplished as I am. And I feel them.
I feel like it's racist in and of itself to say that we have to lower the standards or make a special place for some minority group because they can't get in on their own merit, which is essentially what you're talking about.
Right. But again, what if it were me and they said, "Hey, Eddie, we want you in this group." Well, why do you want me in the group? Well, you look just like us. We want to keep you in we want to keep our things together. I don't want to be a part of a group like that. Right. That's just not me. However, if they say, "Hey, Eddie, you can bring a special talent to this group, but all of us, we're like-minded and we can move something forward." I'm all about that.
Yeah.
But when they and there's a lot of people that, and even in our business, I hate to say it, they don't want to be seen or even thought of as standing out on their own. They're going to go with the pack. They're going to go with what the sheep say, regardless.
Well, it's the old idea, and it was researchers of zebra, like, the African plains. And they're trying to figure out, how you do when you catch animals and you're not trying to hurt them, but you're trying to mark them so you can track them. And so they would get one zebra and put a red mark on it. As soon as they put a mark that made one zebra stand out from the herd, because their camouflage is against the herd, whereas lions and other things, their camouflage is against the environment in the background. But as soon as you marked one zebra, the lions would kill it.
Yeah.
Because instead of seeing the herd, they see that
one zebra. That's right.
And that's zebra, or zebra in some parts of the world. But I think people are very much the same way. People get it. They're like, if I stick my head out, that's when you get shot.
Yep.
That's when you get the hook. You're done in this industry. It could be real estate. It could be so many other things these days. It really is amazing how professional regulatory boards, professional associations is really bad in Canada, really bad in Europe. But it's getting worse here, as we saw with the COVID era, where they are essentially a vice point where they can squeeze necks. So the government isn't doing it. But we, the professionals, have decided that to be in good standing, to keep your license, and you need to meet these basic standards. We just decided it overnight.
Yeah. Not elected by the people.
Right.
These are bureaucrats that got a job and said, hey, I'm the boss now.
Absolutely.
I can't stand it.
Look at me. I'm the captain. I'm the captain.
I can't wait for the day where you're in an HOA. And one of these HOA people come tell you that you need to mow your grass. You're going to lose it. And at that point, Joey will never mow his grass again. It will be 10 feet tall before he'll ever mow it because someone told him, I am the boss.
He'll have hundreds of dollars worth of liens against his property. Violation.
Breaking the law.
272-9228. How about this, though? I want to go to a clip. Right. I want to find one here that's more fun. I don't know. Maybe could we find something that's fun? Is anything in the news fun?
Not right now.
Nothing?
Not right now. No, that's
not that one.
No.
I was checking on this. Oh, actually, this one is kind of fun, and this just goes right into more racial issues.
Oh joy!
But this has to do with the news and how they report on things. In fact, last night, Kyle Rittenhouse, remember that fellow?
Yes.
He tweeted out, how is it that my name and likeness was splayed all over the national news just moments after I defended myself? And yet the shooters say in this Kansas City Super Bowl, parade, it took days before anything was ever said about their name or likeness. Why is that?
Because Kyle's white.
Oh, you're starting to sound like Ann Coulter. Eddie.
Not just Ann Coulter. I saw this several times over the weekend where several black people have come out and said, you know what, I can tell when the shooter's white because I'll release his information right away.
Well, here's Ann Coulter on Real Time with Bill Maher.
Oh.
And there's something about Bill that just rubs me the wrong way. Same thing with like Jon Stewart, for instance.
They give me the ick.
You love him and then you're like I thought we could be friends.
Big fan of
and I'm sure the feeling's mutual, but here's Ann Coulter essentially making the point, And listen to the crowd, and Van Jones is the panelist next to her.
Yeah.
And Van's like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, we don't know who did this shooting, by the way, the Super Bowl shooting.
We have some idea.
What?
If it were a white man shooting, we'd know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. But they haven't.
That's how we know it's not a white man. I can tell you that much.
Do you think they're repressing that reporting?
They wouldn't tell us about the transgender woman that shot up the Christian school for what, like a year? San Bernardino out here. Remember the crazy terrorist Muslims? That's when I first noticed, they're not telling us who it is. It's not a white male. The longer they go without telling you, it's not a white male.
Okay, well, for this one, for right now, as of Friday night, February 16th.
We know.
We don't officially know. Okay, you have special powers.
I mean, it was literally printed Friday afternoon.
Yeah, no, she was right.
He knew, but chose to go that route.
Right.
Well, it's easier to make a mockery of her.
It is. Well, it's not
Exactly
hard.
right.
It's such a horse face. It's just,
That's just mean, Eddie.
I
See what I deal with every day, man?
I've never liked Ann Coulter. I mean,
Really?
she's got some good points, but they did a roast with her one time on Comedy Central. And I watched it.
She was humorless about it, yeah.
I loved it because they ripped into that lady.
Yeah.
She's just not a nice person.
Yeah, but she does make good points.
She does, now. I'll give her that.
Yeah, but that to me was amazing. Oh, superpowers. It's like, no, hey, maybe the news has, especially corporate news, has an agenda.
What about the shooting in the Texas church a week or so ago at Joel Osteen's church? It took several days for that to come out.
And that was a transgender shooter too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not a white guy.
What a mess.
And again, until we can have honest conversations, this is the kind of BS we'll constantly put up.
No, and there was a great guy. I could probably find the clip. It was Coleman Hughes on with Bill Maher. Coleman's got a new book out. I think he's making the case for color blindness, which some folks have been trained now. Oh, that's just another clever way to be racist. You claim you want merit and neutrality, but really behind the scenes, this is just your way to keep certain folks out. When you know,
I thought my generation was taught to be colorblind.
Oh, that's, you're wrong. But Coleman Hughes, I think, is right on the money. When, I'll have to find the clip.
Okay.
Like the conversation with Bill, I think is fascinating, and that there is pushback now, especially from younger generations of folks. Like, we're tired of this essentially left-wing version of identity politics. And honestly, seeing some activity online or the stupid Fed Nazis in Tennessee over the weekend marching around.
Yeah.
I ain't in the mood for any sort of identity politics, left-wing or especially right-wing.
You know we're fixing to have an election, right?
Yeah, I know. And everybody's brains is seeping out of their ears or their mouths.
You better get in the mood because it's
just so dumb.
Crazy.
It's just so dumb.
What should we do then, Joey?
We embrace the dumb.
Oh,
I think we dumb ourselves down. Yeah.
Well, we've been doing that pretty good here for the last 20 years here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
We've absolutely been dumbing ourselves down.
I say, as we get closer to November and the election day, we pickle ourselves more and more.
And that'll
It's
happen
just
too.
so disingenuous. Like if I was a minority that I knew that a particular candidate or party was seeking my vote, like I wouldn't want them to just show up one Sunday to my black church, right?
I would.
And try to speak with a different type of accent and, make up stories about growing up in certain parts of town. Mr. Biden.
It kills me because again, when you call them out on that, when you say, "Hey, that's not what really happened," well, you're the racist,
right?
Hold on, I'm the truthist. I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah,
and a lot of people that's race baiting. That's the reason they do it, and they'll go around to certain areas in town when it's election time.
Yeah.
And you never see them again.
That's
and
right.
What kills me is people
They
know
get their
this.
photo op.
Yeah, people know this. Oh, yeah, election time, that's why he's coming around. But you vote for him anyway.
Well, I was able to find the Coleman Hughes clip.
Oh, cool.
And it's only 40 seconds. Let's listen
And this
in.
has
I
been
like
tested.
this young
When you
man.
ask very liberal Americans, how many unarmed black people do you think are shot by the cops every year? The answer they gave in 2019 was 1,000. The real number from that year was 12. So this social media algorithmically boosted content it's not educating us, it's miseducating us.
Yeah, I noticed this.
Well, and Bill, it's not just social media, it's especially corporate media, but keep going.
In my world, because I remember, and because I have a book coming out where I reviewed all the editorials we've done over the entire life of this show, I remember the editorials I did about certain subjects that now I could not do because they changed, like black people aren't seen in media. Well, plainly that's not true anymore.
And this has been tested. When you ask...
Yeah, but there's a change going on, or at least everybody says we need to have a conversation. Sometimes that means you need to just sit down, shut up, and I'm right, and you just need to listen.
Oh, I want to have an honest conversation.
But no, I think the actual honest conversations are continuing more and more about this world. So, hey, on that note, we got to hit a break.
Let's break.
But first, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, they understand time is of the essence, especially when you have a big emergency like a burst pipe.
Yeah.
Ain't no joke. Inside or outside the home. That is bad.
Inside the home is bad because we're going to have sheetrock. Well, first we're going to have this mysterious puddle that comes out from under the wall. Then somebody's got to dig into the sheetrock and make mud.
But here's the good news with Cole Plumbing.
Yeah?
They have a proprietary pipelining technology, something like a liquid resin base, something like that,
Okay.
where they can pinpoint where the leak is without having to tear out a bunch of drywall or dig up a huge hole or trench in
that
your
idea.
yard. And then with precision expertise, uses tech to get in there, clog the leak, and your problem is solved.
Nice.
And of course, they can help you with all sorts of everyday plumbing problems, from clogged drains, low water pressure. Maybe you've been on the property a while. That tree you planted like 20 years ago. Yeah, those root networks tend to grow.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
you get
do.
Tree root invasion. Maybe you got a gas line leak or your sump pump in the basement ain't working. They can help you with all of these things there at Cole Plumbing. Could be you just want to upgrade to a tankless water heater system, or maybe you're getting older in the knees as you try to sit down in the toilet. You can get a taller toilet. It helps. It does wonders, folks. So call up Cole Plumbing today. That's 279-8919, 279-8919. And just remember, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hello, Alabama. This is your all-time favorite president, Donald J. Trump. My friend, Congressman Gary Palmer, is running for re-election to Alabama's 6th Congressional District. Gary is an America First conservative who is fighting to secure our border, strengthen our military, and protect and defend our undersea Second Amendment. Alabama, please get out and vote for Gary Palmer for Congress on March 5th. He will not let you down. Thank you.
I'm Gary Palmer, and I approve this message.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. I'm Johnny Adams with the Johnny Adams Law Firm, Alabama's personal injury law firm. Wishing you a fabulous day and a blessed evening. Stay weather alert.
Oh, hi, everybody. The weather news couldn't be better for a week in February. I tell you, lots of sunshine again today. A little warmer than yesterday with a high around 66. Clear skies. Not quite as chilly tonight, low 37. Tomorrow's high temperature in the lower 70s. Thursday, I think we're in the mid 70s. Lots of sunshine. The risk of showers holding off until Thursday night, maybe into Friday morning, but not much. And dry weather returns for the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. We can't say thank you enough to every one of you who have made Capital Tractor one of the largest Kubota dealers in the U.S. It's because of you. We're honored, we're humbled, we're grateful. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
Hey, Joey.
Madeline Cannon in the house.
I love that Madeline's here.
And so much to get to, as always. But this was a weird story, and it's more, I chalk it up as history, or, well, this is true, I think, reparation. Ethiopia. It's one of the few African countries that can say we were never really truly colonized, because they had, it's a thousands of years old culture. Mm-hmm. I think they even have claims their monarchy did. They're not a monarchy anymore, but it did have claims all the way back to King Solomon in Israel. So fascinating place. Well, Ethiopia hails return of its first plane it ever built, stolen by Benito Mussolini in the 30s.
Wow.
And when you look at this thing, it's pretty basic. One of these single propeller, prop planes. But almost 9 decades after it was stolen by Mussolini's fascist regime, the Italian government has officially returned Ethiopia's first plane. The official handover of the aircraft was celebrated on Tuesday by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Today is a day of great pride for Ethiopians as we celebrate the official handover. Well, you gotta say, the Italians were, especially under Mussolini, it's just not cool, man. Stop stealing stuff.
They were the bullies.
Well, especially Mussolini, though. I think I got the story from Arthur Herman, one of his interviews I was watching, where he's reading the diaries of, Mussolini's right-hand man. And Mussolini, as a fascist, is trying to bring back the glory of old Rome and Italy and make a proud nation. And there are entries in the diary where Mussolini is very clearly ticked off that as he's trying to build this great nation, all these Italians coming to see him are urinating outside the palace, under the stairway and whatnot. And he's just so frustrated with these. Don't they understand what we're trying to do here? Now, I guess it was the rednecks of Italy. Just no chill.
So I wonder what they've done with this plane for the last 100 years.
Probably just been sitting in a museum somewhere.
Sitting in somebody's garage.
Yeah, the Italian Defense Ministry described the plane, which had been kept at the Italian Air Force Museum since 1941, as a unique specimen. The Minister of Defense, Guido Corsetto, that's his name.
Okay, Joey.
Guido.
That's pronounced Guido.
Yeah. This delivery represents a very strong message that in the aftermath of the Italy-Africa summit, Italy wants to highlight the strong bond between our two countries and wants to emphasize the value of dialogue and the importance of international cooperation. Well, all right then. I don't mind that at all. Now let's, wait, simpler duty?
Days.
You put it down as duty.
Well, I had something else on my mind.
Was it duty? Let's go to simpler days. Hey, simpler days.
Hey, I'm retired. I'm not on duty anymore. Hey, you brought up Tennessee, about the old Nazis in Tennessee there. Did you happen to see the video that the Sheriff's Department released recently where the deputy was killed on a traffic stop?
No, I don't think I did see that.
If you Google it up, if you YouTube it, you can pull it up. And one deputy was killed, and the female officer, she was shot in the leg, and she survived. But the Sheriff's Department released the video because the sheriff said he wanted the public to see what law enforcement officers are dealing with and why they're so hard to find them now. But anyway, they stopped this individual on a rural road. He's crossing the center line, continually crossing the center line. They've got it on video. You can plainly see it. And the female officer pulls him over, and she tells him what she's stopping him for and wants to see his driver's license, the whole 9 yards, his insurance, proof of insurance. Well, then while he's looking for it, she smells the old devil's weed.
Oh, no.
And explains to him that she smelled the odor of marijuana and that she needs for him to get out of the car. Well, he refuses, resists, and so she calls for a backup, and the male deputy is standing there with her, and they're continuing trying to get him to get out of the car, and he's refusing. They even allow him to call his grandmother because he doesn't have the insurance card with him. Well, when they attempt to pull him out of the vehicle, he reaches down in between the seat, pulls out a gun, and shoots the male deputy in the face, kills him. He goes over off to the side and dies, and then the female deputy shot in the leg. He drives off. They've apprehended him, though, but moral of the story, long story, is that if it'd been the other way, and if he would have been reaching for that weapon, and say there wasn't a weapon, and they shot him, this thing would have been played continually over CNN and all the outlets. But when it's the other way,
right,
and they tried everything they could to talk to him, to get him to step out of the vehicle, follow the command, not be resistant, and then they get killed. And this is what's called, Joey, in the circles, is the Ferguson effect.
Indeed. And there's a brilliant writer, a guy named John McWhorter, who essentially says at about the time Barack Obama becomes president, another thing is happening. And where folks hoped that, that man's election would be a moment of, healing and reconciliation, hope and all that stuff, hope and change. Well, what also happened when Obama got elected is Facebook and social media started to become mature.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact is there are enough police-involved shootings, altercations, whether you have the context and the true facts or not, to where it is a shocking video, to where you can have a shocking video 365 days a year. And I think that's what's happened is a lot of young folks are just seeing these shocking videos. Sometimes the police are really doing wrong, but other times it's you just don't have the context. You didn't see what happened a minute before. And it's creating an awful effect. And I think recruiting is way down across the country.
Well, I see where the governor of Louisiana has declared a state of emergency because they can't get enough law enforcement officers. And just be fair, and that's all you can ask. And nobody's perfect. Humans are going to make mistakes, and law enforcement officers are not robots. Maybe that's what they want. But just be fair. And if you're going to show continual footage of when they make a mistake, just like a doctor makes a mistake and somebody dies, but if you're going to do that when they're the victim, just show those two.
Right.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
Appreciate you. Let's go to Mr. Pink. Mr. Pink, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. What about y'all?
Hanging in here.
Good.
Man, y'all done converted me, man. I'm switching teams, man. Switching teams.
What team?
What team are we on?
No. Team Trump, Republicans, whatever.
Okay.
Oh, there's so many things.
Yeah.
I just switch, man. Can't beat them, join them. Because I see it like this, man. The day this nation divorce each other, that's the end of America. Because divided we fall. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, sir.
So I do whatever I got to do, man. If I got to put on those gold Trump Air Force Ones with the red bottom,
$3.99.
I will. Matter of fact, I'm finna get a MAGA hat, man. I'm finna
Whoa.
get a Make America Great Again hat.
Now, that's going to be...
He's all in.
I like it, man. Okay.
I've been a Republican before.
Right.
And the only reason I left was because as a Republican, they just gave me a script. I couldn't have no say. They just gave me a script. Yeah. So, being black, being a Democrat, people going to come to me and ask me what's up, So that's probably the only reason why black people are Democrats. Probably the only reason. But a lot of black people, I guess people with money, they voting for Trump, man. I've been hearing a lot of it. A lot of people just fed up. Like you said, I heard these callers talking about this crime, that crime, and all this other stuff. I never call here talking about, what happened, like white person killed this white person.
Right.
Because I know that can make a white person sad because you're white. You can sympathize with white pain. You know what I mean? Because, it's husbands, it's children, and we don't talk about those things either. But, we always got to talk about black people. You know, we only 13% of the population.
Right.
Latinos are 20% now.
Right.
2000, I don't even think they was registered in school. They're 20% now. Matter of fact, I was calling another show. I said something about they just need to give Black History Month to the Mexicans. I mean, Latinos or whatever. So it's more of them now. Like we don't need that, man. We just want to do what everybody else do, man.
Well, I think it is a shame too, because like I don't constantly cover crime, say here in this city, because it just breaks my heart. And it's like I don't.
It does.
Especially I don't care if it's in Montgomery or some other part of the world. When you see young people dying, whether it's in wars or say neighborhood wars, it's just awful.
We're all desensitized, man. It's just the fighting, the shooting, the porn. It's all desensitized. Yeah. It's just everything is out there. It's wide open. I think we can solve everything. Like me, the biggest, strongest, hardest dude, I can come up to him and make him cry. Because I can just say, hey, bro, I love you. And he will break down because he's walking around with this mean face, thinks nobody cares about him. So he doesn't care about the world. But, yeah, some of these church people go out there and do some charity work. I guarantee you'll have a friend for life. I'll see y'all guys later, man.
Appreciate it, Mr. Pink. 272-9228. Yeah, and you do have to wonder, is there a shift happening across the country where folks are kind of seeing through everything being thrown at Trump, and it's not necessarily a love of Trump, but it's more like, man, like the way they're going after this guy, there's something. It's waking people up to go, there's something weird going on.
Definitely, because again, when they ran Trump through Atlanta, how many, 6 months ago, 4 months ago, how many people showed up just to see him? And then how many of those people in that line you thought would be cussed him? Said, no, I'm pro-Trump. I've seen him do this to people. What they're doing is wrong.
And he made the comment about, people with money are going to vote for Trump. Well, so what he's saying is that the kitchen table economics, regardless of race, everybody's seeing the pinch, right?
Yep.
It costs more to put food on the table. It costs more to put gas in the car.
Yep.
It just costs more to do anything. And so, people are ready to be able to take control of, the economics of their household again.
Wow. Well, real quick here, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. Well, they're ready to help you fellas out. They were created, for guys that don't like going to the doctor.
Yep.
And that's a pretty common thing with men, wouldn't you say, Eddie?
Yes, it is.
I'm sure you've seen that with the men in your life, Madeline.
Yeah. There's never anything wrong with y'all.
Right.
unless you got a little sniffle, and then it's,
man flu. Now that's
Right. But, two things happen as guys get older. One could be erectile dysfunction, or a very common one these days is low T, low testosterone. In fact, there are a lot of guys walking around who don't even know they have low T. They feel tired all the time, all the live long day. They don't really have much energy or motivation, feel like they're walking through life in a fog, but they don't know what's actually causing it. And as guys, we'll just grin and bear it.
Just keep rocking and rolling.
No. Guys, it's not something to put off, not something to be in denial about. Knowing whether you have low T is huge in combating a lot of these issues. So the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health has low T treatments if you do have low T that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Sorry, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually notice even an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
Well said, Eddie.
Thank you.
See, we say this all the time, so like the reaction, we're like, oh, yeah, we did say that. You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. Excuse me. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. I'm just getting so choked up. We're helping fellas out. Montgomery Men's Health is. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie from News and Views sent you. Let's go to Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh. How you doing, bud?
Hey, gentlemen and Miss Lady Ma'am.
Miss Lady Ma'am.
Gentlemen's and Miss Lady Ma'am.
I'll take it.
All right. No, I'm doing good. Hey, man, I wanted to sing praises for one of your sponsors, Pest Pro Services.
Oh, yeah.
They did a follow-up service for when the elderly, non-ambulatory gentleman that I look after, they came there and he went from a cluster, to a clean job. So they have done very great. The techs, Jonathan and Aiden, they did a great job. They're very intuitive. They're asking questions. They did a great job, so I want to sing their praises.
I appreciate it, Josh.
Yeah, and I saw you posting about that on the Book of Faces. I'm not surprised, but I'm very happy. They really
love
put
hearing
things
that.
there.
Yeah, man, it's helped out more than you know. Like I say, this man can barely get around on his own, so.
Ashley and her
That
team are
helps,
just
yeah.
awesome.
They are. They're super. Absolutely super.
All right.
Well, thank you,
Well,
Josh.
hey, yeah, we'll see y'all later.
See you, brother.
And we might as well, since he brought it up, talk a little more about Pest Pro Services. And they can now do what you got to ask for it, a free termite
Yes,
inspection.
they can, Joey.
And
you got
estimate.
to ask. Right. You got to ask. But this is the time of year to get it done. For
'Cause-
one, it's free. But
yeah.
for two, this is when they're starting to get active.
Right. For instance, I noticed the bushes on the exterior of my grandfather's house, they're starting to grow a little bit.
Yep.
Starting to come back.
Everything's waking up.
Yep.
And it's not just the plants waking up, those little critters.
La cucarachas.
Oh, yeah, but the termites love, especially all this moisture that was
Yes.
dropped into the ground
And
over the last few
pine
weeks.
straw.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's getting their beds cleaned up, ready
Oh,
for
yeah.
spring, Easter. Yep.
And so what you need to do, here's the deal. Homeowners insurance does not cover termite treatment or termite damage.
Correct.
So you need to just go ahead and get the treatment done in a preventative way. Actually, Pest Pro can lay bait. So if termites do get around your property, they're going to hit that bait first. Pest Pro come take care of them before you have to deal with any termite damage. I don't know why I emphasized
I
the
love
ter.
that.
But, you talk
It's
long
not a
enough.
matter of if you're going to get termites in the South, but when.
Thank you, honey.
Amen. Amen. And then once you work with Pest Pro, say with just the termites, you're going to want them all the time. Get on a regular schedule. Call them today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie and Madeline on the radio sent you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Police investigating a suspicious fire in Ferguson, Missouri that killed a woman and 4 children. Police haven't publicly identified the victims, but said evidence located made the cause of the fire suspicious. But just days before the South Carolina primary, GOP candidate Nikki Haley, speaking in Greenville earlier, reiterated she's not dropping out of the presidential race. Haley says she will not leave the Republican primary election regardless of Saturday's results. The United States says no to an Arab-backed UN resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war, saying that it would interfere with negotiations on a deal to free hostages abducted in Israel. Stocks finishing, they are lower. The Dow is down 68 points now. This is SRN News.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. And remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather. Well, hi, everybody. The weather news couldn't be better for a week in February, I tell you. Lots of sunshine again today. Well, a little warmer than yesterday with a high around 66. Clear skies. Not quite as chilly tonight, low 37. Tomorrow's high temperature in the lower 70s. Thursday, I think we're in the mid 70s. Lots of sunshine. The risk of showers holding off until Thursday night, maybe into Friday morning, but not much. And dry weather returns for the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
A parole hearing is set for March 7th for former Limestone County Sheriff Mike Blakely. Blakely was convicted of 2 felonies back in 2021. After 2 years of legal delays, Blakely turned himself in to the Franklin County Jail to serve his sentence back in February of 2023. Blakely has yet to be transferred to the Alabama Department of Corrections to serve his sentence in prison. The ADOC did not respond to questions from 1819 News on why that delay continues. The Alabama Bureau of Pardons and Paroles did cite Alabama law as proof that Blakely is eligible for this parole consideration. 1819 News also found out that Blakely has been given work release during his time in the Franklin County Jail, which means he can leave the jail during the day to work, but must return by 6 p.m. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Neglected dogs and puppies were found in Colbert County by sheriff's deputies. 10 dogs and 4 puppies had to be removed from a home near Bethel Cemetery Road and taken to a local shelter. 2 other dead animals were found at that same place. Colbert County Sheriff Eric Ballantyne told WAFF News that his office will hold accountable those people responsible for this neglect. Down in Mobile, residents continue to be concerned about a dog that has been seen running around various neighborhoods with a box stuck on his head. Now, a city spokesperson told WKRG News that authorities are working to find the dog, tranquilize him, and remove that box. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Sometimes you need things done around your house or land that your lawnmower or weed eater just can't handle. That's when you call Prattville Farm Center. They bring their own crew and equipment and clear whatever you need. They say no job is too small. I've been going to Prattville Farm Center for years, and I like dealing with hometown folks. They get the job done right and get it done quickly. If you have land that needs clearing, call Randy at Prattville Farm Center on South Memorial Drive in Prattville. Call 365-5400.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. Got a full house here. We got Eddie in the studio still.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing all right. I like that Bill Murray.
You like that?
Yeah.
BFM, baby.
Also have Madeline Cannon hanging out a little bit more on the
Hey,
show.
I love it when you're here.
Thank you. I
No,
love
you
being
don't.
here.
I love it when you're here. Well, I like it when you're here, but I love it.
Okay, man. I get it. I get it.
Thank you for the clarification.
But let's go to Sweet D on line 180.
Hey, I'm not Sweet D today. I'm Blacktop.
Okay, Blacktop.
All right.
Bring it on, hon.
Okay, because you know why? Because I was on hold so long, I feel like Red Top.
Yep.
But anywho, I was calling about Mr. Pink. Mr. Pink, the Hispanics don't want our month. It's 28 days. Okay.
29 this year.
This
Yeah,
year
you got an
get-
extra day.
right.
Well, yeah, okay, we got an extra day. Whoopee. Anyway, the Hispanics get 2 months, okay, and 2 extra days. So they don't want our little February. They get September 15th through October 15th, and that's every year. So they get 2 extra days within 2 months. So I don't think they're going to want to swap with us, sir.
I love how we need the government to tell us when to read history too. It's just so
Yeah, because, I mean, I need those extra 2 days. I really do. But when is White History Month? When is that?
That's all.
I was
the
always
time.
told that's the rest of the year. That's what I was always told.
Oh, I want a specific month that I can just only do White History.
Though it's in my YouTube algorithm. I don't fully agree with this guy, but Eddie, you've seen him. I don't know if you have, Sweet D. Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I grew up in Jim Crow on a plantation in Alabama, and he officially started White History Month.
He, as funny as he is, and he does it to be lambastic, but he makes me feel uncomfortable.
He
sometimes.
pisses people off.
Oh,
man.
he makes so many people angry.
Do you support Donald Trump, the Great White Hope?
Yeah.
And people do not know how to deal with it.
I think it's funny, but the funniest thing was when Trump said it was racism. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't racism, but it's just ironic that a rich white man claims racism. Even though it was racism, it's just too funny. I can't absorb it. I can't.
At least Trump
anyway-
makes us laugh. We got that.
Yeah, I can't wait till he's back in office. And the last thing I want to say is, doesn't Nikki look just like a bird brain? He is right on with those nicknames.
Bird brain, Nikki
She looks
Haley.
like a bird, and she has a bird brain. Like, how did he come up with that?
He's got it pretty good in that regard. But well, I appreciate the call, D.
Okay,
Yeah.
the last thing. Jacqueline Tomlinson. She's got like 50 signs in Otagoville, but I don't see any in Prattville. So let her know if she wants me to put some out in Prattville, she can get in touch with Eddie, and he can text me, and I'll pick them up, okay?
Okay, how many you want? I mean, I can
How
arrange that
much
now.
you need for Prattville? I see like 50 of them in Otagoville. I don't see any in Prattville.
I will call
No,
you.
I saw one.
I will call you this afternoon. I got a handful of them that I'll gladly give you. I'll even help put them out.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Later, honey.
Let's go to Lord. Let's go to Duke.
Duke.
Hey, Duke.
Oh Lord, nigga.
I'll say it when I want to.
Here we go.
Don't make me reach through this phone now, Joey. I'm in a mood.
Oh, you reach through this phone, I'll smack you back.
Well, great. I ain't gonna say what I want to say, boy. Hold your tongue, boy. Hold it, boy. Hold it. How you doing?
Duke, I feel like you got something on your mind today, buddy.
Well, I've been listening to you cats here. Y'all been, other people been going on and on and on about that Kansas City thing there, What's up with that, Joey?
The shooting.
The Super Bowl parade shooting?
Yeah, did you have a question for me, sir, in regards to that?
No, not really.
Did you witness it or
No,
something?
I heard you. Somebody asked a question earlier. Why didn't they identify the guy's skin color or something like that?
No, that's not just in that shooting. I think it's been kind of noticed here over the last couple of years that if it is a white male that is involved in a shooting, you know everything about that white male within the first 60 minutes of the shooting. But if it's anything other than a white male, well, they just kind of don't tell us.
Okay. All right, let me get serious for a minute.
Okay.
last I checked, I heard on the tubes that they said those two thugs. So when I heard that, I knew what color they were, according to the media and Fox News, when they identify the person as such. And when I hear in the same breath that the shooter got mental illness, hell, I know what color that individual is. Okay? So let's keep it fair on that.
Wait a minute. So who is the mental illness guy? Is that always a white guy?
White guy.
Oh.
Well,
or the transgender shooters now. That's a new
have
thing.
you heard any black guys be called a mental illness cat?
The only one that comes to mind is that Navy Yard shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all one come to mind. But
there was one in
well, and that dude, some of these dudes, you see the photos,
literally,
they look crazy.
Yeah, they've got mental problems.
They got the crazy eyes.
Yeah.
But why they always white that have the mental illness problem? So that's your answer to your question, people who's trying to compare the two. I heard that when I heard it on the news already that they said two thugs. I didn't have to see what color they were. Hell, I was doing something else. But as far as jobs and all of that.
And it turned out it was two teenagers, and they weren't even. It was like a beef between people.
Yeah. Well, they're two thugs, so you know.
Well, yeah, if you're shooting up each other in a crowd, that's
okay
kind
to
of
call them a
thuggish
thug.
behavior.
Yeah.
They didn't have mental, but they should have had, call them mental illness every once in a while, help, because they got mental problems going on to do all this.
If they
crazy
would have
stuff.
said that
Stop
these
it.
guys had mental illness, you don't think black folks would have come out and said, "Why are you calling black people crazy?" Really, dude?
Hell, all of them crazy that do it.
I
The
agree,
ones that
Duke,
go
but
ahead-
we're having this
Okay,
conversation now. We can't even agree on that.
You glad you stayed,
Yeah,
Madeline?
Okay, go ahead, back. Okay,
No, that's why I love Duke. Duke and I can have these conversations.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead with your point. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm just saying, if you can't, no matter what label you put on it, period, whether white people, black people, whatever, somebody's always going to have a problem. If for a while there, they used to report on, hey, this person did this crime, and they would give a
But here's
description.
the difference,
They don't do that anymore.
Here's the difference, though, man. When the white guy get called mental illness, a lot of times he can get off. But old thug over there, hell, he going downtown because he's a thug.
You got an
So,
example?
he can use-
Well, unless
he can
he's a
use
juvenile,
mental
then he's back on the street
Right.
in 2 hours.
Can you give me a specific example of that?
Well, maybe so. But most times it's going downtown for a few years.
Nobody's going
back
downtown for a
to-
few years no more.
Probably not.
No.
I'm trying to go too many places right now, but I'm going to keep it simple. You said something about jobs earlier, saying that if I'm a minority, I wouldn't want to be put on a job without being qualified for that job.
No, I'm saying if I was a minority or me, I don't want to get the position just because of the color of my skin. I
There
want to
you
get the
go.
position because I deserve the
Okay,
position.
that's where I am. That's the way I always been.
Right.
All the people that I came in contact with over the years that's black or whatever feel the same way. But we had a president a few years ago came out and said he created jobs for the blacks.
I don't think he said created jobs. I believe the term was the black unemployment
us out right there, dude.
Yeah,
So-
because that's what he was getting accused of, Duke. He was getting accused of slighting black people. He was getting accused of being racist. And so all he did was bring the information he had to the table and say,
Well, he should have
I'm not being racist.
He should have.
And he's like, and I even tried to bring in for the platinum plan Ice Cube, and you still didn't like it.
Then you go hire Kanye West to help create these shoes that happen to be gold for some reason. I mean, you're gonna talk about that on another day, Mr. Donnie.
Well, you missed out. The shoes already sold out.
It's
Just
sold out,
like
baby.
my Trump digital
Yeah, you
trading
sold something
card.
yourself for $9,000.
You know, Duke, maybe if you rubbed my box, I would be the genie that would give you a pair of gold Air Force, Trump gold Air Force Ones.
You're a smooth operator, Mr. Donnie. Boy, that's a good move on those gold shoes. Boy, I hope the car and run up on your ass. So.
No, my favorite was
In the first 100 folks who buy my new Trump mugshot digital trading cards get a piece of the suit I was wearing
piece of
when
fabric.
Fat Fannie Willis decided to, do what she does.
No, like it's just
Now,
it's only going to get
hey,
crazier
hey,
than
Joey.
Yeah.
Now, Joey, what color was this guy that bought those shoes for $9,000?
He was white. I think of Russian descent.
See, Trump got white folks locked down now. I can say that.
No, we actually have a clip.
He got y'all locked down.
We've got a clip, and I plan on playing it here in a second, where he was in the press, like international press, branded as a Russian oligarch. And so the guy came out and did a Twitter video saying, I immigrated to this country when I was like 13 and a kid. And yeah, I've built this luxury brand up, and I love shoes. I'm a sneakerhead. So we'll play that clip in a second.
Kanye behind that. I bet what's his new name? Yeah, or something like that, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. But
Kanye's still a little nut. You know, I'm not a fan of the whole like Hitler Kanye. Like I don't like that. Even if it was a way to get out of his Adidas deal, I still don't like it.
Now, Mr. Pink, I love you, brother, but I got to jug at you a little bit now. Don't you go getting Tim Scott on me now here.
Oh, Lord.
But
come on. I'm going to give you, oh, Lord, there. Oh, my goodness.
So you're telling me he can't have free thinking? He doesn't have that ability?
I'm just cutting that with him now.
You know, Duke, of all people, you know, people have free ability to think. That God gave us that. So how come, and I know you just give them a hard time, but how come in general, whether it be white people or black people, when someone seems to cross the line, why do they get called out? Or, man, you're black or you're white, you're not supposed to think that way. You're not supposed to act that way. Why can't we
Because
just
a lot of people are dumb.
I don't know why, man.
Remember the zebra story we're talking about?
Yeah.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table.
That's wise, yay.
Especially Hitler.
No, not.
Hey, Joey, you know something?
We were with him until we weren't, you know?
Yeah. You know something? I'm going to tell you guys a while back, since we always talking about race. At my mom's funeral, almost half of the people at her funeral were white that came out in our community. And that's where we were back home, man. We can use the term we didn't see color. You know, we visited each other's homes. Yeah. We played together. You know how we did it, Eddie.
Yeah.
You know, so I was fortunate enough to go to high school, elementary school, all I through my school years with white people, okay? And I learned a lot from you guys over the years. I'm still learning. And you're great people. But you got your ways. And a lot of you out here, not all, set in your ways, set in the 60 ways, and got some racist tendencies if you're not racist.
Is that on both sides, dude?
But
is that
you're
not
right,
on both sides?
But throughout my history, from my experience, I'm not going to go over all the things we guys talked about in the past, but from my personal experience, okay? I've lived it. So, but with that said, what my old boss told one of my co-workers, which was a white guy, I'm gonna use this for example, then I go. This guy had gotten another job. Boss told him to help him find another replacement, but make sure it's a white boy, because we got 2 N words here already. We don't need another one. This white friend of mine came and told me what boss said. I went and talked to the boss about it. You know, and he told me that way he was raised, blah, blah, blah. I told him, you choose to be that way, sir. You're a grown man.
Yep.
But with that said, my boss got sick, okay? I went to his home to visit him on his sick bed. I forgave this man, okay? I don't hold no grudges like that with anyone about anything, okay? People sometimes call in here and say, oh, Duke racist or whatever. No. My daughter's first boyfriend was a white guy came in the house. Had him a gun on the table. He was scared of that. He wasn't.
Oh, you're a good father.
Yeah, that's just what dads do.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, keep it real, people. When you throw stuff at old Duke here, I can bag my stuff up, okay, from examples.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Duke.
But
and,
at the end of the day, I love everybody, and I love all you guys. And I can talk about race all day long.
brother.
We can have this conversation.
Well, before you go, I texted you a song that I think was written about Moo Moo, and this is why I don't want anything to do with her. So you just listen to the song, and this is why. I think it was written about her.
Did we lose him?
Did you hang up on Duke?
No, I didn't hang up on.
Wasn't me.
I'm still here. I'm waiting on the song.
Oh no, I texted it
He's
to
gonna
you.
text it to you.
It's already there.
It's not radio friendly.
No, it's not for the radio.
It's not for the radio. It's for Duke.
All righty, but man, y'all keep it real, and this we're all in this mess together, people, and we just gotta hang in here and don't be food for these politicians anymore. That's all.
Gotcha.
Well said. Appreciate it, man.
All right. See you, Duke. Love you, brother.
272-9228. This part of the program, again, brought to you by Dylan Rings. And Josh and Leslie Ryder, they have a contest going on the Book of Faces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What Josh Ryder has done is he's rendered digital renderings of two different custom design rings. One is more purple with like a rose gold band. Other is more this bright, like this fire orange jewel.
Is that an amethyst color?
I'm not even sure. You got to go ask Josh and Leslie. But what you can do is go to the Facebook page, Dylan Rings, and you can vote on which one you want Josh Ryder to make.
Okay.
And this is a great way to showcase the process of custom design they go through. He doesn't just make something out of nowhere. Like, he's going to consult with you and draw up a design, do a digital rendering saying this is what you like, and then he'll make it a reality. And of course, they're at Dylan Rings. They're a full-service jewelry shop.
Mm-hmm.
Great selection. They always have great sales going on. From high-ticket, high-priced items, that really valuable stuff, to, everyday jewelry that still looks great. Not the end of the world, you mess up a little bit. But they do spa treatments, appraisals, repairs. Again, they do it all there at Dylan Rings. So check them out today. Again, you can always go to Dylan Rings on the Book of Faces or Instagram or DylanRings.com. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom. Go see Josh and Leslie Ryder there at 119 Brown Springs Road. It's 119 Brown Springs Road, just off Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old fun zone used to be.
Right.
Be sure to tell them you heard about them here on the radio that Joey and Eddie sent you. Thanks for hanging out, Madeline.
Thanks for having me.
I love it when you're here. I love it when you're here, too, but I really love it when you're
Okay. All right.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Until next time.
I'll make sure I'm here again, too. 'Cause
Okay.
I know last time you guys kind of both missed me a little bit, so I made sure I was here today.
Yeah, sometimes I wish you would shut up while you're talking to me.
See, you see why I love it when you're here?
I'm a buffer between the two of you.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
You see that paddle back there?
I don't want to know what y'all do with that.
I threaten people.
No.
Or I go canoeing. It's so big. Anyway, we got to hit this break. Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, Alabama. This is your all-time favorite president, Donald J. Trump. My friend, Congressman Gary Palmer, is running for re-election to Alabama's 6th Congressional District. Gary is an America First conservative who is fighting to secure our border, strengthen our military, and protect and defend our undersea Second Amendment. Alabama, please get out and vote for Gary Palmer for Congress on March 5th. He will not let you down. Thank you.
I'm Gary Palmer, and I approve this message.
Come see how you can drive a new Lexus from Lexus of Montgomery today. Get to the luxury event 4 years in the making. The Leap Year Lexus Savings Event. This month only, buy a new Lexus and leap past your payments till May. Drive true luxury in the 2024 Lexus RX. Now $499 a month. You can drive a new Lexus today. Visit Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
With approved credit number RC02C205, 36 months, 10,000 miles, with $3,499 due at signing, plus tax, tag, title, and dock fee.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma.
I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program.
Come on in.
Let's go to Randy. Hey, Randy.
What's up, Randy?
What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing anything I want these days, Eddie.
I heard that.
All right.
I want to thank Duke for taking us to church, Reverend Duke. You done a good job there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
oh, Dookie Duke. He's I love listening to him, even though I don't agree with a damn thing he says. Hey, let me ask you something, Joy. I'll call with this main reason, though, is your guest. Who was your guest there, the lady guest?
Madeline Cannon from Alabama Home Mortgage.
Alabama Home Mortgage. Is she single, Eddie?
She is not.
No, she's very spoken
She's
for.
very spoken for. But she did bring up the fact that Joey is single, and she did bring up the fact she thinks she's got some friends that can help Joey out.
Well, it seems like the whole time I was listening to Joey's voice, I wasn't watching you on your podcast, but Joey's voice is like mush.
Maybe he gets intimidated by pretty women.
Yeah, I'm sure she's a pretty woman, too.
She's lovely.
Well, Joey, why don't you buy into her friend?
Joey is scared of success.
Yeah, also, I know me better than y'all do.
I don't know if it's success. I think it's women.
I was trying to be friendly. But Joey's not scared of all women, just really single, hot women.
What?
Yeah,
the ones that would be a really positive future for Joey, he has a tendency to run.
Well, that should be the ones, Joey, that you really walk into the path.
Well, you would think so, but Joey's smart enough to know he's a catch. So it's got to be a very special woman that's going to pin this man down. He's got potential.
Wait a minute, Eddie. I ain't asking nobody to pin my friend down. I just asked him to go out on a date.
Got to start somewhere, though. I got you.
Right,
I got you, Randy.
Hey, Joe. We ain't gonna come up and go fishing, you and Eddie, with me. I got my boat out and washed it up today.
Oh, nice.
It's crappie season.
It is crappie season.
Actually, I am game, as long as that ain't a euphemism.
No, it's
fishing.
It ain't a camping deal. It's fishing.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we have a designated driver and just sit back and drink some Busch Light.
Nothing wrong with that idea at all.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all.
A day.
All right, I took enough airtime. I'm gone.
Thank you, Randy. See you, brother.
I'm glad everybody's concerned.
Maybe you do want to be pinned down. Maybe that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
We're going after the wrong kind of lady.
Mm-hmm.
If you want more of an aggressive.
Let's go to Randall.
Hey, Randall.
No.
How you doing?
It's kind of hard to call in these serious conversations going on. I don't even really want to talk. I'm calling out now. Messed the whole evening up, man.
I'm sorry, Randall. I'm sorry. I see my buddy Joey, and I see these holidays that are coming up, and I don't want him to be alone on these holidays. You know, nobody wants that. Everybody wants
But
Joey to have a future. So
you do know, man. Joey knows more about that Bible than what y'all really think. Joey knows we wasn't put here to be married.
We weren't put here to be married, Joey.
No, we wasn't. It says.
Yeah, maybe
what
I'll
it
join
say
the
in
seminary or something.
What does it say? What does it say in the Bible? Then it says if you cannot, you marry. If you cannot. All right, let's get that part in because you might be right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we are put here to be married. Maybe I'm messing up the Old Testament, New Testament, and then the Quran with the. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting them all mixed up, and then sitting with the monks. Who knows? You never know, man. I got so many religions flowing through me. I got stones in my pocket and got folks. You know what I mean? I don't even know which way I'm going, but you got to know. You got to study all of them. Or you're not. I mean, I can't come up with the truth, man. There's a truth out there, and if I can trace it back, I'll find it. But I gotta go to all of them. So yeah, I do got a lot to run through, and maybe I have got mixed up. Maybe I better back up. And when we get on that subject, then I come with my full force, and we'll break it down, I guess.
Okay.
But Flynn is throwing bull crap on the wall, man. We can stop. They got him being in the military. There is a machine, a weapon, a machine, whatever you want to call it. It takes 2 hours to power up. It's called the active denial system. And and if you look it up there is a study in 2007 that shows that the people, it burnt their skin. It's the same thing they use in Hawaii when the people ran out and jumped in the ocean and their skin was getting hot, but it wasn't nothing to do with the fire. And for him to say that we don't have something that can stop this invasion right this second is a joke, man. He's in the military. He knows what we got. And it's called the active denial system. And I've never talked about it before because we wasn't ready, and I think everybody's ready. And like the only negative report you'll find about that system is in 2007, and the reason that report is flawed like that because the people they sent out there was not trained, and they burnt them people on purpose. So the report was, and that the people that trained, that didn't train them knew what was going to happen. They sent untrained people out there to have their report show up like that because it is the best thing jumping right now, and we could put an end to all this in 2 hours and be over with. But they don't want it to be over with. He don't want it. And him to say that we got fentanyl out here with some kind of horse tranquilizer. Well, tell us what horse tranquilizer is to start with, and then that's just another field because there's more than one kind of fentanyl. So tell us all about all of them. They're trying to hide that crap because they know cuff fentanyl. You can't just, you can't just get anybody that has their hands on it. And then there's one more that's airborne. And for him to just to throw it out there like it's just a horse tranquilizer, somebody getting a hold of it, sticking in there, it's bull crap again. Like these folks, man, we really got to start slapping these folks upside the head with the truth if we're going to move forward. Eddie, because yesterday what I really want to talk to you about was what it's going to take. Well, everybody keeps saying we read. No, man, they've been saying it only because y'all just now getting to it. People have been saying we at that point for their whole life. I used to say it, Joe used to tell me, calm down, get your house in order. Don't worry about it. It's not as bad as you think. Well, yeah, it was. I mean, it has been. And it is now. It's just, and they've been telling us what they're going to do. That's part of
Randall, my advice at that time, and I would maintain that advice, is control what you can control.
I got you. But
the world can be going to hell, and you got to still control your nexus, what you can control. Not worry about too much. The things that are beyond us. Now, not saying you should stick your head in the sand either.
And I didn't mess you up by sending all that stuff yesterday. The stars yesterday. I feel like okay. It just seems your stuff ain't set up the same it was yesterday. Just tell you.
No, it's something with Facebook and StreamYard. And honestly, we're not getting that many people on Facebook, so I would encourage folks, if you want to watch the show, just congregate over to Joey Clark Live on YouTube or my X platform account.
And plus, you get more money out of it that way anyway. But since y'all was doing the reels, I was trying to put y'all out there. That's why I was tagging y'all and everything. But I mean, I didn't mean for it to cause no problem.
No, really,
so,
it was all right.
All right, bye, brother.
Keep
but
pushing,
man,
man.
yeah, don't. That point we had, Eddie, we're never gonna be there yet. It's gonna be our great grandkids, and I'm burying guns. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm burying stuff, and I'm actually gonna leave it in places that they'll be able to find it through a bloodline of animal I'm leaving behind. And I mean, I'm just gonna beat these folks at their own game, and y'all can come with me if you want to, but I mean, keep listening to folks like Flynn throwing bullcrap up in our face and letting them Elon Musk come to Alabama acting like he's the first one to do this. Like it's all lies, and we taking it. We at that point, Eddie. So I mean, I ain't saying we got to rush up into the thing, but we got to start holding our people accountable. When I mean, we can't run them off because we don't not want Flynn calling in at all. You can't have Joey doing it. But I'm just saying, like, we got to figure out a way.
And I also still understand your criticism of them, and I know you're being serious here, but also if Eddie come and join you and kind of your ways to prepare, it kind of sounds like an episode of Trailer Park Boys to me.
I tell you.
Hey,
but I'm saying, like, why did he just say that about we can stop the border with the active denial system, George. We can control prisons with the active denial system. We can control everything with it.
How expensive are those things? I know what you're talking about, but how they're directed energy weapons.
It takes, how much does it cost to run them?
Yeah. Who has them?
They got it in L.A. County. L.A. County actually had it in 2010,
Right.
was going to implement it, and the government said, no, we're not ready for the public to hear about it.
Well, it
And they
comes back to my conversation yesterday with somebody like Arthur Herman. It's not our capabilities; it's more our will and how much. Right. It has to do more with the culture around our politics than it does with our technical capabilities.
And I got one question for y'all. Why you said culture? People understand that culture is a thing, and you don't own a culture. You belong to a culture.
Right.
Like white people don't own cowboy boots and hats.
Right.
Like, I mean, and you know what I mean? And we don't, and I can say black folks, the way it looks like they started trail ride. White folks took it from them, and then now black folks want it back. And like, you don't own rap. But I mean, that's not y'all. It's not. That is. You belong to that. You're not it. You belong to it.
Yeah,
So
it's
if
like
you
swimming in the
choose
ocean.
that, yeah, if you choose that, that's okay. But you can't say you own it. And once we get past that part, racism is solved.
Yeah, cultural exchange, I think, is the way to go. But, there's always going to be reasons people create divides for their own selfish reasons, and maybe they're just dumb. There's a lot of dumb people.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the call, Randall. Really do.
Yes, sir.
Love you, brother.
272-9228. Well, now it's just me and you again.
Madeline. Where's that paddle? Where's that paddle?
But how about this? Let's hit another break.
All right.
And we'll be right back, folks. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
I'm Republican Jacqueline Tomlinson. You've heard me here on the Greg Budell Show quite a bit over the years. Running for office is the last thing I thought I'd do, but when your community calls, you answer. With more than 15 years of family law experience, I've helped local families through some of their toughest times. And so, I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on Tuesday, March 5th for Circuit Judge. Vote for my mommy! Paid for by the Tomlinson Campaign, P.O. Box 821, Wetumpka, Alabama, 36092.
Everyone that eats 3 meals a day is participating in agriculture, whether they know it or not. I'm Shep Morris, and I've been farming all my life. Caroline Dobson cares about farmers like us. We need somebody in Washington that understands us and understands what's happening and why it's happening. Caroline Dobson is the best candidate in this race. Caroline's tough. She's a fighter. The Biden administration is not about rural America. The labor cost and fuel costs are just strangling small business. Joe Biden is out of touch. The farmer didn't vote for him, and he doesn't care about him. We need people like Caroline in Washington, D.C. that give people confidence to move forward. Caroline Dobson is a fifth-generation farmer. She's got grit, she's got country values, and she's got what it takes. Nobody's going to dig their heels in and fight for us like Caroline Dobson.
On March 5th, vote for Farmpack endorsed Caroline Dobson for Congress.
I'm Caroline Dobson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Dobson for Congress.
Hi, this is Sharon with the Depot Furniture Gallery. Choosing to advertise with Blue Water was an easy decision to make. Our goal was to increase sales, and they reached the audience that we wanted to connect with. Our sales rep has been great to work with, and we couldn't be happier with the results.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Well, hi, everybody. The weather news couldn't be better for a week in February. I tell you, lots of sunshine again today. Well, a little warmer than yesterday with a high around 66. Clear skies. Not quite as chilly tonight, low 37. Tomorrow's high temperature in the lower 70s. Thursday, I think we're in the mid 70s. Lots of sunshine. The risk of showers holding off until Thursday night, maybe into Friday morning, but not much. And dry weather returns for the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, he's Eddie.
Hey, Joey.
How you doing?
Hi.
Now, I mentioned this guy who bought the Trump gold Air Force Ones.
Yes.
I mean, what do you think of these shoes?
I saw him when he came out, the shoe thing the other night.
Yeah.
I honestly thought they were just a prop. I didn't think they were really gold. I thought they were more plastic, whatever.
Right.
A little over the top, but it's Donald Trump.
Right. It fits the brand.
It fits, right. Exactly.
So here it is. This is the guy who bought them. And all these folks saying he's a Russian CEO.
He looks like a Russian spy.
He's a Russian oligarch. So this guy finally came out and gave a big response. He's the guy who bought for $9,000 a signed pair of the shoes. So if you want to watch on the stream, Joey Clark Live on YouTube. But but listen to his story here. After he bought these shoes, because he's a sneakerhead.
Yeah, I mean he's a sneaker person, so I get it.
Let's hear out this guy. What's his name? Roman Sharf.
Oh yeah, he's a Russian.
So, bought a pair of sneakers. These sneakers, and apparently they made me a Russian oligarch overnight. Here's how.
It's all sorts of headlines popping up on the screen.
Guys, I'm a sneakerhead. I'm also a U.S. Army veteran, and yes, I am a Republican. The title of the article read, "A Russian oligarch spends $9,000 on sneakers to support Trump." Sounds sketchy, but I actually came from Ukraine. At the time, it was part of the Soviet Union. Right. I came here at the age of 13 as a refugee, but my dad had $4 in his pocket. I busted my ass working every dirty job under the sun to get where I am today in order to be able to afford to buy these $9,000 pair of collectible sneakers. But I guess the headline of Russian refugee, Ukrainian refugee, or perhaps maybe just a man, that would not get as many clicks as a Russian oligarch. I even saw a tweet from a Ukrainian patriot that said, a Russian shady watch dealer bought $9,000 pair of sneakers as a way to move money to Russia somehow. Of course, I kindly asked the author to check the fact that my own charity raised over $250,000 of aid to Ukraine since that war has started, before putting out accusations of stupid tweets, if you will. I wasn't trying to make a political statement by buying these shoes. Of course, the internet blew up. I'm getting comments and messages from on IG from people saying, oh, I am no longer following you, or I'm unfollowing you because you're a Trump supporter and I'm no longer doing business with you. It's funny, here I am, maybe I'm silly. I thought that people done business with Luxury Bazaar because we've been in business for 21 years, because of trust, because of personalized customer service that we provide and great pricing. But I guess I was wrong.
Wow. It's amazing what our news cycle does.
What
it chews up people and spits them.
Yeah, what kills me is like the guys that say, we'll never buy shoes from you again, just like we get the calls. I'll never listen to you again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Right.
You know,
well, I kind of want to tell some of those folks, you're too dumb to listen to the show. Stop.
I can understand where that would get frustrating. But like in this case, he's got clients that reached out to him. The nice thing about his business is a luxury business. He can say, with no worries, don't ever call me again. But I guarantee in that world, the reason they reached out to begin with is because he was better at it than anybody else. There's something specific that guy had and you want it. That's going to come back around again.
Well, he, like a lot of entrepreneurs, decided to go into the rich, like a niche market.
Right.
Like high-end luxury stuff. So you just get it, you save up, you have enough starting capital, and and it's not, in a way, like mass production to the masses might be easier than really getting a brand in a niche market. Both have their difficulties.
Sure, but once you get in that niche market, like he's in, dude, you're in.
Now, before we hit a break here, and we got to talk about a great sponsor in a second.
Okay.
You know, this Mike Benz, we were talking about him yesterday, B-E-N-Z.
Yeah.
He did that long interview with Tucker Carlson. By long, I think it was an hour and a half. Well, a lot of folks don't have an hour and a half to just hop on Twitter and watch Tucker talk to Mike Benz.
Very true.
So how about this? How about the best 3 minutes of that hour and a half video?
Okay.
That's coming up. But first, as part of the program, brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. Well, you know, men, as we get older, we have problems, like as we mature. Erectile dysfunction, low testosterone. It's nothing to deny, put off, be ashamed about. And it's not something to wait to get fixed. Yeah, guys hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like us. So if you have no motivation, lack of energy, always tired, perhaps seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, even a decrease in, well, sex drive, or maybe you just feel like you're walking through life in a fog. Knowing whether you have low T is huge at combating some of these issues. There are a lot of guys walking around, even young men. Doctors are now saying, hey, it's your guy, even at age 18. Your annual checkup should involve a testosterone and PSA check. And because a lot of folks are walking around feeling bad, but they don't know the cause of it. So the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have treatments there, low T treatments, that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased sex drive.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot right with it. You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Now, without further ado, here is the crucial 3 minutes with Mike Benz. Okay. After this, we'll have a quick break, come back to Ray Bowles, I believe. Let's listen in to Mike. He's going to lay out how free speech became a bad thing and how this infrastructure that I was asking General Flynn about, misinformation infrastructure, was built up.
Explicitly said on tape that they were set up to do what the government was banned from doing itself. And then they articulated a multi-step framework in order to coerce all the tech companies to take censorship actions they said on tape the tech companies would not have done but for their pressure, which involved using threats of government force because they were the deputized arm of the government. They had a formal partnership with the DHS. They were able to use DHS's proprietary domestic disinformation switchboard to immediately talk to top brass at all the tech companies for takedowns. And they bragged on tape about how they got the tech companies to all systematically adopt a new terms of service speech violation ban called delegitimization, which meant any tweet, any YouTube video, any Facebook post, any TikTok video, any Discord post, any Twitch video, anything on the internet that undermined public faith and confidence in the use of mail-in ballots or early voting drop boxes or ballot tabulation issues on election day was a prima facie terms of service violation policy under this new delegitimization policy that they only adopted because of pass-through government pressure from the Election Integrity Partnership, which they bragged about on tape, including the grid that they used to do this, and simultaneously invoking threats of government breaking them up or government stopping doing favors for the tech companies unless they did this, as well as inducing crisis PR by working with their media allies. So, and they said the government, DHS, could not do that themselves, and so they set up this basically constellation of State Department, Pentagon, and IC networks to run this pre-censorship campaign, which by their own math had 22 million tweets on Twitter alone. And mind you, they did this on 15 platforms. So this is hundreds of millions of posts, which were all scanned and banned or throttled so that they could not be amplified, or they exist in a sort of limited state purgatory, or had these frictions affixed to them in the form of fact-checking labels where you couldn't actually click through the thing, or you had to, it was an inconvenience to be able to share it. Now, they did this 7 months before the election, because at the time they were worried about the perceived legitimacy of a Biden victory in the case of a so-called red mirage blue shift event. They knew the only way that Biden would be able to would win mathematically was through the disproportionate Democrat use of mail-in ballots. They knew there would be a crisis because it was going to look extremely weird if Trump looked like he won by 7 states. And then 3 days later it comes out actually the election switched. I mean, that would put the election crisis of the Bush-Gore election on a level of steroids that the national security said, well, the public will not be prepared for. So what we need to do is we need to, in advance, we need to pre-censor the ability to even question the legitimacy. This took out.
Wait. May I ask you to pause right there?
Key influences,
so what you're saying is, what you're suggesting is, they knew the outcome of the election 7 months before it was held.
It looks very bad.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
I saw that yesterday. One of our listeners sent it to us, or sent it to me. When I first started watching it, I just kept thinking, these are all the things that we thought but didn't know. Kept thinking, maybe I'm crazy, I haven't heard this, but to have somebody confirm what we already knew, more people confirm it, makes me feel a little bit better.
There you go. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, Alabama. This is your all-time favorite president, Donald J. Trump. My friend, Congressman Gary Palmer, is running for re-election to Alabama's 6th congressional district. Gary is an America First conservative who is fighting to secure our border, strengthen our military, and protect and defend our undersea Second Amendment. Alabama, please get out and vote for Gary Palmer for Congress on March 5th. He will not let you down. Thank you.
I'm Gary Palmer, and I approve this message.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get on the conversation. But actually, we run out of time, and we got to go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
How you doing, Ray?
I'm sitting in a driveway with David Cox beside me, and we're going to let him do the ad today.
Nice.
I do the ad all the time. No, you don't. You never get on the radio and talk. I've talked to Joey plenty of times.
How you doing,
David?
David?
He's about Eddie. Giving him a little foyer and then calling Bart with the entire house. I know it. That's what he's complaining about. I'm like, how's he going to do it? See, don't even call Ray. Just call me directly, Eddie. You got my number.
I'll do that from now on. Yeah, I need to call the guy that's going to get it done. Yeah.
So if y'all need anything from a small foyer to an entire house, look, I was in Tallahassee today. We had Bart down in Greenville. Yeah. You went to Otagoville today. Yeah, and I got to go out to Beatsville here by the lake in a minute. So if y'all can hear us, we will come to you free of charge, give you a free measurement, figure out what you need in the house. And within a week, you got a floor down just that quick.
We just sold one in Auburn, so, we'll go to Auburn too.
Nice.
All right.
I like that.
So folks just need to call up 285-8117.
That's all it takes. It's a phone call.
Free estimate, and the next week we're putting your new floor in.
There you
And
go.
that's for Bart, not David.
No, that's for David, not Bart.
Well, appreciate you both, guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate it a
guys.
lot.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You too, man. We'll see y'all.
Again, that number, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them when you call that you heard Ray and David today.
That's right.
Well, what did we learn today, Eddie?
We learned that Madeline's got a great sense of humor,
Mm-hmm.
and she might have some single friends for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We did learn that.
Yeah, I think we need to keep bringing on more guests.
I'm down with that.
Like all day guests. Like
Oh,
hangout. Like just make it a hangout.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm ready.
Because I'm a little tired of you.
No offense.
I mean, I
Joey,
love
but
you.
I love you too, but
yeah, we're kind of tired of talking to
Right.
each other.
Right.
To a degree.
Let's bring on some hot chicks.
Yes.
I will do it.
I'm down.
I know a couple of hot chicks that would love to come on here, but the only problem is I'm scared we're going to break the internet. Because they'll see two hot chicks with two dummies, and everybody's going to watch because they know these two dummies are fixing to do something
dumb.
Mm-hmm. Worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I love the idea. I love what we're doing. I love seeing the response. You said our subscribers are growing every more by the day. That's great. That means we're doing something right, Joey.
Right? Yeah.
Or it's funny anyway. One of the two.
We've doubled essentially in a few days, so
Nice.
it's fun. It's we're having fun with this, folks. But
nice.
Y'all stay tuned. Greg Budell.
That's right.
Happy Hour. Well, he's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada News